p.m. Pledge of Allegiance, Vice Chair McClellan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chair McClellan. And now the national anthem by Vice Chair McClellan. Thank you, Vice Chair McClellan. Roll call and verification of quorum. LJR Chair Urea.
Mole. Podier.
Here.
Kira.
Here.
Martinez. McClellan.
Present.
Millington.
Present.
Richard.
Present.
Temple.
Present.
Caldwell.
Present.
Robbins.
Present.
Spalding.
Present.
Castillo.
Present.
Wynn.
Here.
Simcoe. Wanjin.
Present.
Domino.
Present.
Foster.
Here.
Galloway.
Here.
Custis.
Present.
Beaumont.
Here.
Becerra.
Present.
Gell.
Present.
DeMarla. Patel.
Here.
Here.
Yalamanchili.
Here.
Burrell.
Present.
Borges.
Here.
Almanar.
Present.
Anderson.
Present.
Castellan. Sabula.
Present. Sorry.
Sabula.
Present.
Hall.
Here.
Holmes.
Present.
Huerta.
Present.
Costas.
Here.
Martin.
Present.
Salerno.
Present.
Salcedo.
Present.
Tache.
Here.
Cerisi.
Here.
41 out of 41, quorum is verified.
Great. Thank you, Chair Urea. Approval of the minutes. Take a look at last meeting's minutes and I'll take a motion. Chair Hall.
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
There's been a motion to approve the minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. The minutes stand approved. Approval of the agenda. Take a look at the agenda and I'll take a motion. Sarah?
Move to approve today's agenda.
There's been a motion to approve the agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. The agenda stands approved. Open forum, David Ferguson. 60 seconds when you're ready.
Ready. Is this on? Okay. So basically, I just came to address the no confidence vote, not because I have any specific stance on the issue. I respect both Senator Cerisi and Senator McClellan. I think that there are some principles that we can use behind it. I mean, once Christians have followed for 2,000 years about dealing with people just like Romans 12, bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse. If your enemy is hungry, feed him. And if he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in doing so, you'll heap burning coals in his head. I think this may run counter to what modern philosophy says, but it can be good principles that can be used by both Christians and non-Christians. Thank you.
All right. Pro Tem Cerisi, 5 minutes when you're ready.
All right. Good evening, Senate. I will be officially announcing my resignation from Senate this evening. Please bear with me as I give this speech, as I am still very sick with COVID and having some other health problems due to it. I'm going to do my best to get all my points across, but the cough may make that difficult, so just bear with me. First, I want to thank everyone who has helped to support me in my student government journey here at UCF. Thank you to former DLEG Bonifant for her many words of encouragement and support when I first got into Senate. Thank you to Speaker Custis for being the first real mentor I had at UCF that truly helped me find my path. Thank you to former Hispanic Latinx Caucus Chair Duque for being an awesome friend and coworker and always sharing chocolate pretzels with me. Thank you to my two deputies, Wanjan and Foster, for working so diligently and supporting me during my unexpected and extended absence. And finally, thank you to former Disability Caucus Chair Cox for being an amazing mentee and the work they accomplished during their time as chair. Sorry, guys. I also want to wish good luck to newly elected Disability Caucus Chair Tashay. You're going to do great work, and I'm so excited to see what you accomplish with this amazing thing I was honored to have created. But being in any leadership position is hard, and just know I'm proud of everyone currently in leadership for working so hard, and I hope that during my time as pro temp, I was able to really help you guys grow in your roles. I'm resigning because of a multitude of reasons, and I want to be transparent with you about them. First, I have made a mistake that I feel is inexcusable and feel the best course of action is for me to be honest with you all about it. During the ENA meeting where the no confidence against Chair Gell was heard, I sent a text to a member of the committee that I absolutely regret and feel I need to be held accountable for. In this message, I advised a senator that the vote would fail if they voted no. This was wrong not only because it is self-explanatory that you should vote no if you do not want something to pass, but also because I was inducing to act, which is improper. Even if it was not my intention to do this, it came off that way. Furthermore, after the public records request went out, I asked this person to delete the message I sent them as I was afraid of one person's reaction, which was wrong of me. But in that moment, I was not thinking reasonably and acted out of fear and severe anxiety instead of doing what was right. It is okay to make mistakes because everyone does. So it's important to not beat yourself up over them, but it's important that you take accountability for them and own up to them, or else you'll never learn or grow to be a better person. That's exactly what I want to do today. I'm not resigning from this position because I'm scared of consequences. In fact, I encourage them, hence why I am doing this. I sincerely apologize to anyone that has been hurt by my actions. Please know that I will be doing everything in my power to learn from this experience, starting with resigning from my position since I feel I no longer deserve it. This is the main factor behind my decision to resign from Senate, but there are other reasons that began a few weeks ago when my grandmother's leukemia worsened and she was moved into hospice care. I thought going to Ohio and being able to spend time with her would help me come back to Senate refreshed and in a good enough mental state to continue my work when I returned. However, this was not the case. I returned this week even more stressed, and mentally distraught than when I left. During my time there, I also caught a pretty severe case of COVID, which landed me in the hospital. And I will be feeling the effects of this for some time due to prior existing health conditions being made worse from the virus. Not only this, but there are several other things occurring in my personal life which have greatly impacted my emotional state. And I feel that I cannot appropriately dedicate my time and energy to it like I used to. This is no excuse, and in no way am I saying this to invalidate any of my actions, but I wanted you all to know why I made the decision to leave Senate, as well as my position. I don't want to do this because I do love Senate, but at the end of the day, I am confident. This is the best decision for Senate, myself, and most importantly, the student body. The final note I'd like to offer all of you is to consider your next pro temp carefully. This position is really, really hard, and while having deputies makes it easier, there are many tasks that come with this job that your average senator may not be equipped to handle. The next pro tempore needs to be excellent at multitasking, time management, interpersonal relations, and conflict resolution, all while having a good understanding of fiscal policies and statutes and be able to handle a lot of pressure and stress. It will be incredibly challenging, but if you can handle it and you are willing to work hard for the benefit of the student body, I believe in you and will be available should you ever need assistance. Finally, if you all would allow me to, I'd like to do one last Cerace's collectibles before I officially resign. This is I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a Moltres Alt Art Secret Rare. Also post a photo of it and send it wide before I leave. I got this during the same night I got the Glaceon Secret Rare. Card collecting is my passion. I love doing it. So I'm really happy I got to share a lot of my cards with you guys. Thank you all for your time and good luck on your journeys. With that, I hereby resign as Senate President Pro Tempore and as Senator for the College of Sciences seat 15. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, Sam. With that, the position of Senate President Pro Tempore is hereby vacant. And upon resignation or removal of the Senate President Pro Tempore, the Senate President shall immediately call for the nomination of the Senate President Pro Tempore. All senators shall be eligible for nomination. The election of the Senate President Pro Tempore shall occur immediately following nominations. However, the Student Body Senate may postpone the election to the following Student Body Senate meeting, so next Thursday, July 14th, with a 2/3 vote. With that, is there a motion to open up nominations for the position of Senate President Pro Tempore? Right. Any nominations? Gail Mochili?
Can I move to postpone the elections to next week?
We can do that after nominations. We can move to postpone the actual election itself, but not necessarily nominations. So I'll see that once nominations are closed. All right, Sabila, a nomination?
I guess I nominate myself.
All right. I'm not going to ask if you accept because you nominated yourself. Costas,
I nominate Chair Temple.
Chair Temple, do you accept?
I respectfully decline, Madam Speaker.
Great. Yael Mochili,
I nominate former DLEG Wanjan.
Wanjan, do you accept?
I do.
Sarah,
I nominate Chair Borges.
Chair Borges? Chair Borges, do you accept?
I do.
Gail,
Can I make two nominations?
you may.
I nominate Vice Chair McClellan and Vice Chair Almanar.
Vice Chair McClellan, do you accept?
I do.
Vice Chair McClellan, or Vice Chair Almanar, my apologies, do you accept?
I do.
All right, DeMarlo,
I nominate Chair Hall.
Chair Hall, do you accept?
I respectfully decline.
Sabila,
I would like to take my nomination back.
all right. Any other nominations, Gail?
I nominate Michael or Senator Costas and Loki Mole and Senator Mole. I apologize.
Senator Moll's not here, so I can't ask that, but Senator Costas, do you accept? I'm sorry, we couldn't hear that.
Decline.
Respectfully decline. All right. Any other nominations? Richard,
I don't know if she's here, but I nominate Vice Chair Anderson.
Anderson, Vice Chair Anderson,
I respectfully decline.
right? Any other nominations? Costas,
Rea.
Chair Rea, do you accept?
I respectfully decline.
Right. Senator Spalding,
I nominate Chair Hall.
I'm sorry, you cut off after the word chair.
I nominate Chair Holmes.
Chair Holmes, do you accept?
Thank you, but I respectfully decline.
Great. Any other nominations? Chair Holmes? It's closed. Okay.
Motion to close nominations.
There's been a motion to close nominations. Are there any objections? Seeing none, they're closed. Holmes?
Motion to postpone nominations to next Senate meeting.
There's been a motion to postpone.
Elections.
There's been a motion to postpone elections to the next meeting. We're gonna have to vote on that. Are there any objections to go into voting procedures? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. Give us 1 second. I don't know if Bernie was ready to make the poll. With a vote count of 26 to 7-0, pro tempore elections are hereby postponed until the regularly scheduled Senate meeting on Thursday, July 14th. Also, if we can strike Mole from the record for nominations because he wasn't here to accept. I don't know if I just need to update it, but all right. Anyone else for open forum? Seeing none, announcements from the student body president. AG Moore.
Hi, Senate. So I'm just filling in for Daniela today. So she says Texas Tech student government representatives are coming for a visit next Thursday, July 14th, and they will be coming to Senate. Thank you.
Sorry, I have ice in my mouth. Any questions for AG Moore regarding the student body president's report? Chair Holmes.
I'm not sure if you know or not. Do you know like what the reason for their visit is, or is they're just visiting?
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, but Daniela will probably know.
I can respond because I was in those email chains. Their leadership is here for a conference in Orlando. And since we're both our schools are joining the Big 12 conference, they decided to make a trip out here. Yep. Any other questions regarding the student body president's report? Seeing none. Announcements from the student body president. Student body vice president, none. Comptroller's report.
Hey everyone, the second finance office meeting for the summer is tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. over Zoom. Please reach out to me or my vice chair if you have any questions. The CRT current account balance is $293,261.71 with a reversion rate of 10.342%. The FAO current account balance is $101,577.67 with a reversion rate of 14.786%.
Any questions for the comptroller? Seeing none, thank you, Stephen. Cabinet Forum, Attorney General Moore.
Hello, Senate. So I'm currently working on opinion requests. I have quite a few right now, so I'm going through all of those. One that I'm working on is nearly done, so that should be in the office tomorrow and then hopefully on the website shortly thereafter. I've also been attending the ENA meetings and the LJR meetings and meeting with senators as well, and then just generally preparing my recommendations for statutes so that those can be updated accordingly. And then looking forward to some other things that I'm hoping to do. I'm beginning to create some educational materials and think about maybe some workshops for student government agents regarding sunshine law, just so that everyone's caught up to speed on that and what that means for us as student government agents. And then again, I have linked the form for a request for an attorney general opinion. Thank you.
Right, Senator Simcoe.
Present and voting.
So noted at 6:24 PM. Any questions for the Attorney General? Seeing none, thank you, Attorney General Moore. Great, announcements from the Chief Justice. Chief Justice Carrick.
All right, good evening, Senate. Let me find my place real quick. Okay, so our summer retreat for judicial is scheduled for July 21st, 10 a.m. to 4:30. It's basically all day. You can stop by and say hi if you want. It'll be in room 219, Student Union. I hereby appoint Elizabeth Silva, seat 9, as Internal Assistant Chief Justice, and Shelby Morgan, seat 14, as External Assistant Chief Justice. And then just kind of a last minute note, if I haven't met you yet, stop by my office and say hello, because still a lot of new faces that I don't know. So yeah.
Any questions for the Chief Justice? Seeing none, thank you, Sage. Great, announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, none. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Scholarship Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Senate President, absences per the LJR Chair. Vice Chair Martinez was at 2 unexcused absences. However, upon missing roll call for the beginning of tonight's meeting, he's now at 2.5 and is hereby dismissed from the Student Body Senate. Aile Huerta is at 2 absences. Senator Martin is at 2 absences. Vice Chair Castellan is at 1.5 absences. And Chair Taché, who was just elected as the Disability Caucus Chair, is at 1.5 absences. The Senate Summer Retreat is scheduled for July 23rd from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Resume building workshops, because I cannot spell correctly, that's misspelled, is scheduled for July 15th at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And lastly, there's the compliment form. If you wish to compliment someone in student government, go ahead and fill that out. Is there a motion for a non-committee member to speak? That person being Brody. Any objections? Seeing none, Brody.
Do you just want to be clear that technically Martinez has another 6 minutes, because you don't get that half absence unless you're more than half an hour. So he has 6 minutes.
Colin, Uriah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
6 minutes.
So we'll go ahead and once 6:35 hits, I'll just go ahead and announce it. All right, any questions for me? Seeing none. ILA report, none. ELA report. AJ Patel.
Good evening, Senate. I'll be filling in for ELA Galloway. We have 8 dean introduction meetings scheduled so far for these colleges: College of Arts and Humanities, College of Graduate Studies, CHIPS, COM, College of Sciences, Creole, RCOHM, sorry, I don't know the pronunciation, and BHC, Burnett Honors College. If you're on one of these colleges, please check your college group meet chats ASAP, which means right now. She will be announcing college leads for the summer meetings only shortly after each college meeting is sent in the designated group chat. Preparation meetings for each dean introduction meeting will also be scheduled shortly after each college meeting is sent in the designated group chat. If you're not in one of these colleges, please check your group meet and chats regularly for updates.
Any questions regarding the ELA's report? Seeing none. Senate President Pro Tempore report, none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs, none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, none, because those positions are now vacant, but go ahead and read what's there. Caucus reports, Asian/Pacific Islander American Caucus report, none. Black Caucus report, Chair Holmes.
Hi, everyone. So our next meeting will be on July 12th at 2 p.m. It will be fully virtual. It will be a jam-packed meeting. We'll be discussing Sickle Cell Awareness Month with the Disability Caucus Chair Taché, and we'll be discussing our perspective on the Voting Rights Act of 1965 with the GAP Committee Chair Hall. We are also working on our event and legislation for late August that I mentioned last week, Black Business Month. I just reached out to Toppers regarding a voucher for students potentially to get free ice cream for coming to our event. So I'll keep y'all updated. Our caucus is really excited and there are more details to come. By the way, thank you, Brody, for directing me to Toppers. And that's all from me.
Any questions for Chair Holmes? Seeing none. Disability Caucus report, Chair Taché.
Hey y'all,
As it was just said a couple times, I was elected chair at this meeting. And then the only other thing we did, because it was like a 20-minute meeting just to get some procedural stuff done, was we elected a new ex officio seat. It's actually former chair Cox took the seat, which is really exciting because they'll be able to help with a lot of projects that they got started. So yeah, I'm excited about where we're going to be going from here with that, and I'm excited to meet with Black Caucus next week.
Any questions for Chair Tache? Seeing none, let's make sure to turn off the mics when we're not using them. All right, LGBTQ plus caucus report, Chair Yalamanchili.
So we did not meet this week. We did, however, meet last week at 4 p.m. on Thursday. The next meeting is on July the 14th. We postponed filling RSO ex officio seats to the fall semester due to a lack of response from the relevant RSOs, and we figured that RSOs might be more inclined to check their emails in the fall semester, and also discussed ways to celebrate LGBTQ plus History Month in October, and ideas were floated around, such as that we could help UCF students get to have transportation down to the downtown campus down to downtown Orlando for Pride events, or that we could host a Pride event at our campus itself. And the debate on that was unresolved, but we will be discussing it further. And that's about it. Thank you.
Any questions for Chair Yalamanchili? Seeing none, Women's Caucus report, Chair Sabula.
Hi, we did not meet this, we did not meet yesterday, but we will be meeting next week. And happy International Peace and Love Day and happy World Chocolate Day, which I think are two important days to celebrate. So thank you.
Any questions for Chair Sabula? Seeing none, unfinished business, none, Fiscal Committee caucus time, none, Fiscal Committee reports, CRT Committee, Chair Borges.
Thank you. Hey guys, in committee old business allocations, we denied allocation 54059. New business allocations, we postponed 54062. As I said, 2 allocations. We also finalized, we're finalizing our FAQ sheet for the website next meeting. If you have not reviewed your FAQ sheet, please do. CRTs was outdated. Make sure to send that to the ELA once it's approved. And I yield to my vice chair for ages assessment.
Good evening, Senate. This week in CRT, we had Maynard wafers from Vienna, Austria, which is a beautiful city, by the way. Y'all should definitely visit once in your life. And then Senator Becerra thought they were pretty good and tasted like Oreos. Senator Hurrell thought they were really good and tasted like styrofoam. Senator Holmes thought they were good and would put them in her ice cream, while Senator Washington concurred with Senator Hurrell and also thought they were good. On the other hand, I myself liked the wafers. They had the right amount of stiffness and it had a good taste of them, but the chocolate was too sweet. The cacao inside was not roasted as it advertised, and also the cacao was not rich in taste. Therefore, I didn't like them.
Any questions for CRT leadership? Seeing none, thank you both. FAO committee report, Chair Millington.
Hey guys, sorry for another boring report this week, but FAO didn't meet on Monday due to July 4th, so I have no new updates for you guys.
Any questions for Chair Millington? Seeing none, ORS committee report, Chair Temple.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Hello there, Senate. We did not meet this week because it was the 4th of July weekend, so the committee took the time to rest and recuperate. But in that time, Vice Chair Robbins and myself reviewed the ORS FAQs and only updated the answers as they didn't really fully encompass the post-funding process or what really ORS engages in. I will echo the sentiments of Chair Borges, and please take time to review those FAQs for your committees and or caucuses, so as well as the committee or caucus overviews, so that they best reflect what the body is committed to doing. Moreover, Vice Chair Robbins is currently working on improving our committee key or cheat sheet to help students understand the post-funding process. And with that, have a good night.
Any questions for Chair Temple? See, Vice Chair Almoner?
It's not a question, just a response to Ethan. Please decor me if it's necessary, but General Kenobi.
I don't even know what you said. Chair Urea.
The 6 minutes have passed, so.
All right, with that, Vice Chair Martinez is hereby dismissed from the Student Body Senate. All right, seeing no other questions. Fiscal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading. Bills, Fiscal Bill 5404, funding for 13 members of the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society to travel to the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society annual meeting in Atlanta, Georgia from October 10th, 2022 to October 14th, 2022 by Senator Wanjin is hereby remanded to CRT. Resolutions, none. Special acts, none. Notice of legislation on third reading. Bills, Fiscal Bill 5403, funding for 6 members of the Art History Club to travel to SCCAC 2022 in Baltimore, Maryland from October 26, 2022 to October 29, 2022 by Senator Potier. Is there a motion for 5-minute speeches, 15-minute questioning, 15-minute debate? Any objections to that? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. Senator Potier, if you would like to introduce the legislation.
Okay, yeah. So bear with me, y'all. This is my first time introducing a bill. So this is, of course, 5403. And there was some changes that was made when I contacted RSO. So instead, their lodging will be $244.72 per night. And including with taxes and fees, the new taxes and fees price would be $342.26. So in total, that will bring their new total to like $2,302. That's their new total for lodging. And then that will also change the total cost to $6,687.02. And yeah, so it also changed the club contribution and the Senate contribution. So yeah, those were some amendments I made to the bill because the RSO contacted me and they wanted some changes. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm open for questioning.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Chair Borges.
Since the RSO is here, would they mind like coming up to the podium?
Oh, my bad.
Any questions? Borges?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you understood everything I sent in the email about the possibility of reverting funds and issues that comes with that.
Yes.
Great. Any other questions? Any other questions? Borges?
You can't really see the bill, but if you'd like, do you want to come and make sure all these numbers are what you told us?
Speaking of people seeing the bill, there are 14 of you on it, and 41 people on this call. So let's go ahead and make sure we're looking at the bill, considering there are changes on it. One of you just joined thinking. There we go. All right. Any other questions? Seeing none. Chair Holmes?
Hi, was this a change in like the price for the hotel or did y'all change the hotel?
It was a change in the price. I think just partially because we're approaching closer to the date, prices are going up. And so I noticed that it changed, so I just updated it.
McClellan?
Do you expect any further changes to happen?
Potentially, it's just hotels, that's what tends to happen. But I also noticed that the plane price has been fluctuating too. It's been going lower though. So hopefully if there is an increase in the hotels, the plane will continue to go down. I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, kind of a follow-up. If things work out and this money isn't enough, are you able to still go? Like you'll have ways to fund it?
Yes.
Senator Richard?
Yeah, this is a question for either the RSO or Chair Borges. We had inflated the travel cost for this reason, like to cover. We had inflated the travel costs enough, thinking about any inflation in lodging. So, is this necessary?
Oh, okay, thanks. So the travel costs actually did increase a little bit too. And I did keep in mind, because I know it was $70 per person we increased it by, I think. That sounds right. I don't know, that was a long time ago. But I did look at that as well. And I still was comfortable making the change. So I hope that's okay.
Any other questions?
May also respond.
Senator Richard, do you feel your question was responded to? Or would you like Chair Borges to respond?
Yeah, it was answered. But
Alright,
I will hear from Chair Borges.
Chair Borges?
Yeah, I was going to bring the same thing up in debate. So in debate, I'll give you how I feel about it.
Great. Any other questions? If not, Chair Gal?
Move to vote on the amendments on this bill.
Not see that till we're in debate. Temple?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Chair Borges.
Move to see mine and Senator Potier's amendments as a block.
There's been a motion to see Chair Borges's and Senator Potier's amendments as a block. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. They'll now be seen as a block. Any debate on the block of amendments? Borges?
Yeah, so like Senator Richard kind of brought up, we did increase the travel already due to possible fluctuations. So I'll just give everyone here kind of what we discussed during committee, so you don't have to go back and read it. With plane flights, obviously gas is expensive. That could possibly increase how much planes cost right now, which it has on top of the strikes that are happening with pilots. In October, it is expected to go down, but also this is near Halloween, which is not the biggest holiday ever, but it does cause prices to go up due to people traveling. When it comes to lodging, the closer you get, the more expensive it's going to be. It's kind of a tricky situation where we don't want them to revert funds and get sanctioned, but if they're truly comfortable with it, then I don't have an issue with it, but I want you to realize everything that's happening.
Any other debate? Sarah?
Move to vote on the amendments.
There's been a motion to vote on the block of amendments. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures on the block of amendments. With a vote count of 30 to 0 to 0, the block of amendments passes. Bless you. Any other debate? If not, I'll take a motion. Becerra?
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote on fiscal bill 5403. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. With a vote count of 32 to 0 to 0, fiscal bill 5403 passes favorably on third reading. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Resolutions none, special acts none, notice of legislation on second reading none, internal committee caucus time 15 minutes for SBA. I will reconvene this meeting at, if I can do math correctly, 6:57 p.m.
So really quickly, for those of you that haven't done a caucus while we're hybrid, I can't remember if we've done that before or not. No. Okay, so if you're on Zoom and you're not a part of the meeting, feel free to join the breakout room that I just made. You can just select it for yourself and join. If you're in the room and you're not part of the meeting, please leave. If you don't want to watch the meeting, please leave so that Estefania can start her meeting quickly.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing okay. Lovely to see your virtual faces. Is everyone able to look at the agenda?
I can't see it.
It is located on the SBA Drive. It is in the general first page. I call this meeting to order at 6:45 p.m. Roll call and verification of quorum. Vice Chair Anderson.
Hello, everyone. Chair Salerno,
Present.
Vice Chair Anderson is present. Senator Beaumont,
Here.
Sabula,
Present.
Kira,
Here.
Mole,
Excused.
Spalding,
Here.
Becerra,
Present.
Tache,
Here.
Pro Temp is vacant, LGR is vacant. Seven of 8, quorum is verified.
Approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve last meeting's minutes?
So moved.
By general consent, approval of the agenda. Can everyone take a minute and look over the agenda? 2 quick things. And then I'll take a motion. Senator Becerra,
To approve today's agenda.
are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as approved by general consent. Open forum. Is there anyone wishing to speak during opens forum? Seeing none. Announcements from the chair. Hello guys, so happy to see y'all. We'll be reviewing Senator Gell's Minority Mental Health Month legislation right now. And I also wanted to link the student advocacy form flyer. That's the concern form flyer, and receive any feedback you may have. Announcements from the vice chair. None. Announcements from committee members. None. Announcements from non-committee members. None. Old business, none. New business, proclamation. Currently, because it is being adopted by SBA, does not have a number, so it's just called Minority Mental Health Proclamation. Can I get a motion for 2-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate?
So moved.
Chair Gell, you have 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I will be really brief. This is just legislation for something, month of July, it's Minority Mental Health Month. I just wanted to write this. I think it's important that we acknowledge, and we are going to do an event with this. I remember hearing that was something. And so basically what I did was I just pulled information on UCF student population, how it relates to us as a university. Then I gave more statistics and stuff, which I have a link of all of that if you guys would like that as well, of where I pulled this information and showing the disproportionate effects that minority communities face when dealing with mental health. And then I just ended it up with saying UCF respects and serves all students. This is why it's important. Therefore, we recognize this month for that reason. And yeah, that's it. I will yield the rest of my time for questions.
Senator Moll.
President voting.
We are now in line for questioning. Are there any senators wishing to question Chair Gell? Chair Tache.
What does the event you're planning look like? Like, what do you see happening at it?
Yeah, so I've met with Senator Saucedo and Senator DeMarla about this. People have mentioned like a speaker, a keynote speaker. We haven't concluded on specifics on what. I personally see this more as like an event that we hold in maybe Key West Ballroom, and then just with a bunch of resources, caps and stuff, almost like maybe a speaker. I don't know the definite details of that, but you will know about that next week when we make a final plan.
I'll do a follow-up for that. So with Minority Mental Health Month, with Minority Mental Health Month being in July, when are you planning to have this event, since the end of July is quickly approaching?
Yeah, so that was a concern I had as well, especially with funding in the new fiscal year starting in the beginning of July. I talked to Brody about this, and he had mentioned that he believed that we would be able to get funding by the end of July. So the last week of July would be this event, giving us time, because you need, I believe, 2 weeks for that purchasing period. So beginning of next week, we'll solidify a plan, put in the purchase request, and get everything going. Then that's when we'll include a lot more people in terms of like, okay, I need you in contact with this person to deal with this, and kind of allocating and delegating that way. We didn't really want to include everyone right away, because then I feel like it gets a little messy with who's doing what, and then it gets lost in the train of things. So the last week of July, to answer your question.
Specifically, when you're talking about Minority Mental Health Month, is it only ethnic minorities?
Yes, because when I looked it up, I was also thinking like, okay, like maybe minority communities like LGBTQ plus and whatnot. But the point of this was ethnic minorities in those communities, or else I would have included that information on other marginalized and minority communities.
Last question will take a motion for debate if nobody else has any questions. Have you contacted anybody from the other two branches about the collaborating of this event?
With exec and judicial? I did not. I honestly didn't think about it to collab with them, just because it was not something that we could plan out a long-term thing. I felt that this could easily be succeeded well with internal. We can invite them to the event. That was going to be the plan. In terms of collabing, I feel like now as well, it just would be too much, and like we might not do. I'd rather have a event that is well put together by like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Senator Chair Tache.
I'm not the chair here. You can call me Senator Tache. But I guess I was just wondering, like, if the proclamation doesn't pass or whatever, which it will, but do you need the proclamation to get that event done? I may have missed it when you were talking about the funding with Brody and whatever, but like, this is something that we wouldn't need the proclamation to do the event, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You do not need the proclamation for the event. There are two different entities. We could do the event if the proclamation doesn't pass.
Cool.
Are there any other senators wishing to ask any questions? With that, I'll take a motion to go to debate. Senator Becerra.
Move to debate.
Are there any objections? We are now in debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak during debate? Senator Kira and then Vice Chair Becerra.
All right. I think the statistics are pretty good on the doc, and the fact that we don't need the proclamation for the event, I didn't know that this was Minority Mental Health Month, and I think it's like good to at least like get us aware of that. Like I did not know that, and I think it's good to have that and then an event. So I support it.
Vice Chair Becerra.
Yeah, I share similar sentiments with Senator Kira. You know, this was well written, and alongside that, it's also good to bring forth awareness of the Minority Mental Health Month. And I believe that Chair Gall has good plans for the event. So I believe that SBA should definitely support this.
Are there any dissenting opinions? Senator Tache?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I'm probably until the event crystallizes more, because I have full faith in Senator Gale that the event will materialize. But until like those steps start to get taken and whatever, like in a more concrete way, I'm probably going to abstain on it just until I see that. But once that happens, then I'll be voting yes, because I love the idea.
Just a point of clarification, we're voting on adopting it. So once we adopt it, it'll go to first reading and then it'll be remanded. I think, right? No, it'll go straight to second.
So yes, the point of adopting it as a committee is that you're skipping first reading. You're doing first reading on your own. So it'll go to second reading tonight.
Okay. Never mind. Are there any other senators wishing to debate? Cool. Okay, so since there are no other senators wishing to debate, we are now in voting procedures. Same as always, if you vote for on Zoom, I think all of us are on Zoom, so it might be easier for Vice Chair Anderson to see. Yeah. So, so if you vote yes, green check mark. If you would like to abstain, raise your hand. And if you vote no, then X.
And if everyone can just leave it on there until I'm done counting, because we have had this issue where it's been removed quickly and then I don't know. So just give it 1 second, please. Has everybody voted?
I believe so.
Okay, then we are good. So there are 7 yeses, 0 nos, and 3 abstentions.
Congratulations, Chair Gall. Your bill has been adopted by SBA. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn pending final roll call?
So moved.
Vice Chair Anderson.
Hello again. Salerno,
Present.
Anderson is present. Beaumont,
Here.
Savula,
Present.
Kira,
Here.
Mole,
Here.
Spalding,
Here.
Becerra,
Present.
Tache.
Here.
Pro tip is vacant. LGR is vacant. Same as initial.
Thank you all. Meeting's adjourned at 6:57 p.m.
All right. I hereby reconvene this meeting at 6:58 p.m. Also, I see my name. What's going on? Oh,
You
yeah.
look drippy.
I'm always incredibly dripped out, but especially on Thursdays. All right. Internal committee reports, or Chair Borges.
Move to Senate deliberations.
Not gonna see that now because we got confirmations. I'm gonna see those first. All right. Internal committee reports, ENA committee, Chair Gall.
Hi, everyone. We had a great meeting this week in ENA and passed all confirmation. As a reminder to committee members, make sure you contact me if you plan on missing the meeting. I met with Attorney General Moore this week, and I will plan to meet with her again next week. Exec and us are now on a good schedule. We have a tracker and it's concise. So exec and we and us in ENA will always be on the same page. And I'll meet with her next week. So if you guys would like to come and you're interested in Title VI, please come. EC material is linked as well as EC questions. Senate material is linked as well as Senate questions. As a reminder, don't ask any questions that were already asked in committee. Other than that, that's all for me.
Any questions for Chair Gall? Seeing none. Yeah, committee report, Chair Hall.
Alrighty, not too much this week, but we did have a good meeting at GAP yesterday. One of our top priorities was discussing potential future topics for our legislative reports. And I wanted to say great work from Vice Chair Temple and the rest of the committee that participated. We got a lot of good ideas and we're hoping to flesh those out in the next week or so. And then my last reminder is, please, if you are interested, please try to fill out the Ignite Your Vote 2022 interest form that I've linked if you've not done so already. We are hoping to get that started within the next 2 weeks. And that is all.
Any questions for Chair Hall? Seeing none, LJR committee report. Chair Urea, but first, Senator Moll.
Present and voting.
Noted at 7:00 p.m. Chair Urea.
Hey guys, we had a pretty quiet week. We approved our one and only absence. We PPI'd Internal Bill 5409 and Resolution 5403 again. For Internal Bill 5409, the author was not ready to present. And for resolution, the resolution, we did not see that with the current format. We didn't understand how it would be properly implemented and not just performative. We also passed Internal Bill 5413 and 5412 favorably. Once again, just so it doesn't get lost in the mix, here's our new absence request policy. I've linked it in the minutes. And lastly, I am atrocious at Google Sheets, so please check the tracker and let me know if there's anything that could be wrong. Thanks.
Any questions for Chair Urea? Seeing none, SBA committee report, Chair Salerno.
Hello, everyone. So we just adopted a proclamation to celebrate Minority Mental Health Month, which was passed favorably. We also drafted our SBA advocacy flyer. I forgot to hyperlink it, so I will hyperlink it right now. If you have any questions about the flyer, please let me know. We're also collaborating with Director Turner on a What is SBA flyer to be handed out in all OSI events upcoming August. And then lastly, if you're interested in joining SBA, please let me know. We always want more members. So yeah, that's all for me.
Any questions for Chair Salerno? Seeing none, Chair Salerno, would you like to make the motion? Do we approve the agenda? With the legislation on, yeah.
Motion to approve today's agenda with, motion to go back to approval of the agenda.
There's been a motion to go back to approval of the agenda. Any objections? Seeing none, we're there. Chair Salerno.
Motion to approve today's agenda. Motion to add, what's the number? Proclamation 5411. Proclamation 5411 to the agenda.
There's been a motion to add Proclamation 5411 to notice of legislation on second reading. Any objections? Seeing none, it's added. Chair Salerno.
Motion to approve today's agenda.
There's been a motion to approve the agenda, to reapprove the agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. The agenda stands approved. All right. Any questions for the SBA committee? Seeing none. Confirmations. Chair Gell.
We will now be starting with confirmations, and we'll be starting with the confirmation of Grace Myers for EC seat 6.
Is there a motion for 5-minute speeches, 15-minute questioning, 15-minute debate? Any objections? Seeing none. Grace, you will have 5 minutes for your introductory speech whenever you're ready.
Hello, I'd just like to start out. I attempted to contact my neighbors. They're playing music really loud, so if my earbuds pick it up, I apologize for that. But I'll go ahead and start. Hi there, I'm Grace Myers. I'm currently a junior here at UCF studying psychology with a track in clinical, and I'm planning on adding a minor in early childhood development and education in the spring, sorry. Right now, I volunteer regularly with providing additional links and services for the autistic community here in Orlando, specifically through Night Pals for UCF. And in addition to that, I am also an active member of the UCF ASL Club, as well as I have a working proficiency in ASL and have taken 2 years of it in high school. And then I'm going into my 3rd semester with Professor Bill Cooper here at UCF. So I have a good understanding of deaf culture and their experience. So I hope to be a resource to that community. Additionally, I'm an aspiring adolescent counselor, so I'm very passionate about helping other people, especially when it comes to their mental health. Open-mindedness and clear communication are especially really important to me, and as well as keeping myself and other people accountable just by communicating thoughts properly and in a respectful manner while still being able to engage in some sort of like debate while working together. So I always try to implement those two things when working in groups, especially like this. I came here specifically to UCF to utilize the specialized opportunities of the College of Sciences provided, especially in the psychology program. And as like my time here at UCF, the longer I spend, I've just become more involved and passionate in my passion for advocacy, as well as trying to inspire other people to become more involved in social justice. I think it's key just in general to not let life pass you by. And I myself want to take this opportunity to become more involved in the UCF community and the student body and obviously the student government. And yeah, so I just want to help encourage fellow students to do the same, especially with the wake of COVID. I think it's really easy to feel disconnected, and especially with how big our university is, knowing that you have a voice here, I think is really important, and I would like to help educate people on that. So just overall want to encourage fellow students to take stock in our university that we've all like spent so much time and money and effort towards working for our degrees and our passions. So I just want to help fellow students take the power that the university has given them that they may or may not know about, to use it to work through just any priorities they have. And I think doing that on the election commission would be a great way for myself to help become more involved, and also to help other people understand like how easy it is to be involved here at UCF.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. We'll start with Temple, then go to Borges, and then Yalamanchili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Ms. Myers. Thank you for coming out tonight. I have down here that you have an extensive background in helping students with disabilities, and I find that very admirable. My question for you is, actually, may I ask two questions, Madam Speaker?
You may.
So my first question would be, how do you intend to apply all of your experience in helping the students with disabilities in the Election Commission?
So specifically for communication barriers, it's super important to be able to have a resource for people to be able to communicate on their level and where they're at, just in general in any way, but especially just knowing like the language alone will make like those students who have questions or concerns or just want to know people or know what's going on, like if people are touring around and they want to ask, I will be able to use my skills to communicate with them with like an understanding of their culture, because they do like their basic like day-to-day conversations are a little different from how we would have ours. We usually have a little more fluff and they like to be direct and to the point. And also in our ASL classes, we are really, we really practice a lot like directional communication. So especially for polling locations and other things like that, I would be a good resource for being able to help explain how and where fellow students can go out and vote.
Okay. And my second question is, do you intend to work with the Student Body Senate Disability Caucus in order to advance your initiatives going forward, should you be appointed to the Election Commission?
I personally, at this point, I haven't been super informed in how the caucuses work. However, if that is an opportunity I have, I would absolutely love to do that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All right, Mr. Borges.
May I also ask two?
You may.
So the first one is, which statute contains information about elections?
That would be Title VI.
And the second one is, where can candidates not actively campaign?
Specifically, in the dorm rooms before 11 a.m. and after 9 p.m. Definitely no campaigning flyers under the dorm doors, and no campaigning in the student union or the student union stage, like during the voting weeks, as well as just in the student union in general. And the libraries and the bookstores, there's a lot of locations. I think I covered most of them, but yeah, so any like neutral UCF area is off limits other than the dorms during those certain times.
All right, Chair Yalamanchili.
Hello, Ms. Myers. One question that I have is, did you examine how the previous student government election, the one we just had this year in March, was conducted? And do you feel that it could have been done? Do you think mistakes were made that could have been done better in a future election?
So in my personal experience, also because for me, I voted online. I'm not 100% sure if we did have in-person voting last year. However, I think we could have done a better job advertising. I think especially getting into like specialized advertising to get people more like engaged and want to listen to like the importance of voting. So I think we could go more like the College of Sciences, what I'm in, for example, making like voting advertising like to specialized groups to get them more involved and to kind of show more of how they do have power. It's just like another like subsect of the government. I would say online elections were completely fine. I didn't notice any flaws just in general. I would say just more advertising and like educational advertising specifically would be beneficial in things like the student union or any social media that UCF has.
Any other questions for the candidate? Senator Richard.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. All right, I'll go Sabiola, Yalamanchili, and then Borges. Sabiola, you have the floor.
Hi, so I have to be honest, Grace is actually one of my very good friends, and I would love to talk about how much I love her and how great she is, but sadly I'll have to abstain.
Yalamanchili?
I believe that Ms. Myers has answered all of the Senate's questions precisely, correctly. She is very knowledgeable as to the statutes, correctly identified what title election law falls under, knew what students can and cannot do when campaigning, is generally very passionate. And I really love the passion that she shared in that she wanted to help those with disabilities be more engaged with student government. And I think she would be great on the election commission. I would highly, highly encourage my fellow senators to vote in favor.
Chair Borges?
Same thing as the rest.
Take the last hand, Temple.
Yeah, I would like to echo the sentiments of Chair Yalamanchili and highly encourage my fellow senators to vote in favor of the candidates. They had provided exquisite answers to all the questions that were offered by the Senate floor. And considering the amount of experience that she has in helping students with disabilities, it is paramount that we do actually bring attention to and help advocate for that particular cohort of students in voting, because that is a very underserved part of the UCF community. And I am very excited to see them in action in the election commission.
Are there any dissenting opinions? Seeing none, Chair Gell.
Move to vote on the confirmation of Grace Myers for EC seat 6.
There's been a motion to vote on the confirmation of Grace Myers for the election commission seat 6. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now voting procedures. With a vote count of 27 to 0 to 1. Congratulations, Commissioner Myers.
Thank you.
Draco.
Move to postpone or to table Tamani Harris's confirmation and move to see Ashley Solomon for EC seat 5.
We got to see the first motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, move to table Tamani Harris.
There's been a motion to table the confirmation of Tamani Harris. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. It's tabled. Chair Gell.
Move to see the confirmation of Ashley Solomon for EC seat 5.
Since we tabled the last one, we're there. Yeah. All right, so Ashley, you'll have 5 minutes for your introductory speech when you're ready.
Okay, sounds good. Just a little disclaimer, there's a really bad thunderstorm going on outside, so I'm sorry if you can hear it or the internet cuts out or anything. Just let me know and we can try to alleviate it. But with that, I'm gonna go straight into it. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Solomon. I use she, her pronouns. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, but I've lived in Orlando for the past couple of years. And that's one of the big motivators as why I chose to come to UCF, because it was close enough to home, but also far enough away that I could exercise my own independence and stuff like that. I'm a rising sophomore, criminal justice major with minors in psychology and crime law and deviance. And I chose this path for myself mainly because I'm really interested in the sociology behind crime and why people do the things they do, less in a clinical psychology kind of way, but more in a why they commit crimes kind of way. Sometimes they overlap, but I was more interested in the crime side of everything. So I guess to kind of go in a little bit about myself, like I said, I am a rising sophomore. So I've been at UCF for a whole year. And in that year, I joined a Panhellenic sorority, which has really taught me a lot about working in a semi-large organization that has the same goals for the most part. We run philanthropy events and stuff like that. And with that, obviously there's the goal of raising money and fundraising for those philanthropies. And stuff like that. It's also taught me how to communicate with people with similar and dissimilar opinions and ideas on things, which is really great. It definitely brought out the feminist streak in me a little bit, just being surrounded by so many empowering women and stuff like that, which is something I'm really passionate about, especially during times like this. But in addition, the biggest commitment in my life right now that I also started my freshman year would be my role on orientation team. I'm an orientation leader for the incoming freshmen of this year and transfer students as well. That has taught me a lot and probably more than I can fit into 5 minutes. So I'll spare you all of that and kind of just get to the point. It's taught me a lot about communication with people in a different way than being in a sorority has more of, they have different goals than I do, but I also want to help them achieve those goals, whether it be academic, socially, whatever the case may be. It's always different. You meet new people every day. And so you see a lot of different people that come from different walks of life, different cultures, different aspirations, stuff like that. And you have to be able to kind of mold yourself to be able to fit their needs in the day or two that you'll see them. That's definitely been a big part of my life. And I definitely wouldn't have it any other way, even though it is kind of crazy. But yeah, to kind of go into some of the initiatives I have 2. The first one does reflect my position on orientation team. I'd like for the Election Commission to take a more active role in communicating with the colleges to be able to encourage voting. So meeting with advisors and department heads to try to figure out how they can advertise voting, not only in presidential elections, but also to try to fill their Senate seats to get those students to represent their colleges. I think that our advisors really play a more integral role in our academic journey and also our personal journey, rather than student government sometimes does, because students that aren't already involved in student government might not understand the gravity of it or really what it really entails. And I think the colleges would be able to push the message and be able to adequately communicate what the roles entail with the help of the Election Commission and the Senate. And then my second initiative focuses more on, again, advertising elections, and that would be sprucing up the website, sprucing up social media to make voting and when Senate seats open and stuff like that more available to them, so they know exactly what the process entails and what they have to go through to be able to vote or run in an election or anything like that. So yeah, that kind of does it for me, and I'm ready for questions.
Great. We're now in line for questioning. Chair Holmes, then Chair Teche.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you so much for coming. I am just going to ask regarding your experience that you provided on your resume. You have a lot of experience here, and I just want to ask you, is there an occurrence where you had to be unbiased in any of these things you were involved in? And could you explain the situation and how you went about it?
Sure. I've had to be unbiased in so many of the things I've done in my life. Like I come from a debate background, which focuses a lot on being unbiased. But in my experience at UCF, I'd say orientation team is almost entirely being unbiased when students are asking your opinion on certain professors and like you maybe hated them, you hold back, you're unbiased. You say all professors at UCF are qualified to teach what they teach, yada, yada, yada. When people come to you with negative feedback or they're angry or whatever the case may be, staying unbiased and trying to be like, hey, like I understand your point of view, even maybe if you don't, and remaining unbiased in that way that you're not inflaming their opinions, as well as bringing yourself down. You know what I'm saying? There's a fine line between being unbiased in certain situations, and I think maybe making the situation worse because you're trying tactics that maybe don't work when it comes to being unbiased. But I'd say orientation team is definitely the game of being unbiased, even when realistically you do have a bias. So situations like I mentioned, students are asking for your honest opinion about something you can't give your honest opinion about. So you stay unbiased to make sure that you're helping them in the best way you can, but also maintaining that aspect of professionalism and respect for the job and the people around you.
Chair Teche?
So going back to the first thing you talked about, where you talked about your major and stuff, in my experience and like working with criminal justice students and whatever, I've noticed sometimes there's a great ability to like follow the existing rules, but not necessarily always a great ability to like be able to realize like, oh, this rule isn't great. We should fix this. We should change this. Do you think like from the background that you're coming from, that'll be a struggle for you on election commission? Or do you think you'll be good at, adapting and realizing when there's flaws and fixing them?
I'll say when it comes to, even though I am a criminal justice major and I get where you're coming from because I've had similar experiences with all the criminal justice majors I've met, personally, I like to think I don't fit into that bubble of being like a strict rule follower or following authority just because it's authority. I think there's a certain level of respect you have to have for authority just for your own like mental well-being, physical well-being, whatever. But there's also a level of you have your own agency and you can challenge rules that you think maybe aren't benefiting the people you're supposed to represent. So I think like if there were flaws in something that was happening or something that I thought was negatively impacting maybe my colleagues or the student body or any kind of group of people that, I'm supposed to be representing and helping out, I'd like to think I'd be able to stand up and, try to advocate for change if I really thought it was necessary.
Senator Foster?
Hey, Ashley, good to see you here. So what made you decide to choose the Election Commission over any other branch in student government?
That's a good question. I think what made me choose EC over anything else was mainly I saw that there was a big focus on outreach that was present in the Election Commission, encouraging people to vote, reaching out, trying to, again, get people to vote, get them active in student government. And I thought I'm a people person. I like to be more active with the student body. So I thought that would be a good fit for me. So yeah, that's kind of why I chose it over anything else. I'm not super like well educated on what like the executive branch or like what Senate specifically does, but I do get the gist. And I kind of thought EC was more in my realm of capabilities and how I would be able to excel myself and also how to excel a program.
Before we continue, Chair Gell was going to say that the question was stated during ENA. The reason I allowed it is because what was asked during ENA was why apply for EC. Tonight was why apply for EC over other branches. All right, any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion. Richard?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. I'll go Richard, then Hall.
Hi, everyone. I'm highly in favor of Ms. Solomon. I think her experiences are tailored well for this position, and she has it gives her good connections around campus. And all around, I think she spoke very eloquently, which is nice to have as well when you're trying to communicate to others.
Chair Hall?
Just to bounce off Senator Richard, I think that the nominee definitely has a lot of passion. I like that there is an independent streak there, particularly because I think that there's a lot of work that can be done to evaluate the things on the Election Commission that work and what don't work. I think that their experience across campus is actually going to be very beneficial, especially when it comes to promoting student government. And I think that they will make a very positive impact on the Election Commission.
Senator Foster?
Yeah, I would like to echo the sentiments of Chair Hall and Senator Richard. While Ashley is my coworker, so I will be abstaining. She's really intelligent, really driven. She's actually been interested in student government for a while. So she would ask me questions about it like for months since I've known her. And I've known her since about January, whenever we both started training to be orientation leaders. She's really passionate about everything. And I've been kind of like walking her through a lot of the process about student government and how it works. And, whenever we had a lot of issues with orientation, I would always go ask Ashley for her opinion because she was really smart and she would help us get things fixed. So I'll be abstaining, but I do encourage everybody else to vote in favor.
Great. Are there any dissenting opinions? Seeing none, Chair Gell?
Move to vote on the confirmation of Ashley Solomon for EC seat 5.
There's been a motion to vote on the confirmation of Ashley Solomon for the Election Commission seat 5. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. With a vote count of 30 to 1, congratulations, Commissioner Solomon.
Thank you, guys.
Chair Gell?
We will now be seeing the confirmation of Michael Samuel for Senator of CHIPS seat 5.
Michael, you will have 5 minutes when you're ready.
All right, how's everybody doing? My name is Michael Samuel. I'm going to be a rising junior this year, and a little bit about myself. I ran last semester or in the spring for the Senate. Sadly, did not get in, but I'm back again just because it was such an enriching experience. I was around a lot of people who really were able to push me to just be my best and try and seize every opportunity that I could, just even in that few week span. And I felt very, very passionate to come back and just do my best to try and make my impact on the student body. So my involvements in the last year, my sophomore year, I was involved with ISA as their freshman leadership director. I was a lead scholar, the student outreach director with UCF Creed, and a Knights Plus mentor with the MSc office. And in this coming year, I'll be the vice president for the Indian Student Association, and will be participating in the honors undergraduate thesis program. So I feel like all these different experiences have really helped me to just see different perspectives on the campus, and will just help me as I bring this to the Senate, hopefully. So my initiatives are focused on holistic wellness, CHIP-specific initiatives, and miscellaneous initiatives. A few are focusing on mental health events for just throughout campus. I feel as college students, we sometimes don't put the emphasis that we need to on our mental health, and it really just will grind us down to dust if we don't push that and educate our students about that. So I wanted to put de-stress events during high stress points during our semester, such as midterms and finals, and just help students to not only have these events to de-stress, but teach them how to do so. So having these events throughout campus just to educate them. I also want to establish more lines of communication with CAPS for students. I had some interaction with them this year for a project with lead scholars. And while I understand that their intentions are good and that it's a great program to have, I felt that they could be a little bit overwhelmed at times and that it was difficult to get in contact with them. So however we can bolster them and, really help them to do the best that they can do, I feel like that's something that we should push. I also want to increase attention and support for the Knights Pantry. I also did a project with them my freshman year with lead scholars, and was able to see that they were still kind of recuperating from COVID. And I just feel like while we have students hungry on this campus, we need to do everything we can to put a spotlight on them to make sure that they know that there's a place to go to get help. I also want to continue to learn more and highlight existing campus student support systems. just as I learn more through Senate and learn more through everybody here, just making sure that every support system we have is bolstered and just make sure it's made well aware to each and every student. For the CHIPS initiatives, I want to make a space where our internships, shadowing, and research were condensed to be a little more visible to our students. I feel that it's very difficult to find these opportunities, and I've only been able to find them through random emails or really digging through. And for a lot of us who are going for a secondary program, we need to have these things to be competitive applicants. So putting that all in maybe a list or something, I had taken inspiration from a professor I had in the spring where he put it on Canvas. We would have a whole dashboard of opportunities that he would find. And also as students, we could list our own opportunities to our fellow classmates. So I also wanted to create a more obvious line of communication with our senators and just do more proactive checks where we're going to them to see if there are any issues as opposed to them coming and reaching out to us. Finally, I want to push more RSO fairs to make sure that students are aware of all the clubs and activities that are available on campus, as well as just pushing to make sure they're available of all resources. And I also really want to help the international students. I've had some experience with them through ISA, and seeing how much that they struggle in the initial weeks and months after they first come to the US was something that I really wanted to highlight. Just how we can help them transition to the cultures and customs here at UCF and the US as a whole. And that is pretty much all I have. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to come out and speak about my case. Thank you.
Great. We're now in line for questioning. Ms. Sarah, then Temple, then Spalding.
Hello. Can you talk a little bit about how well involved you are with the CHIPS community, like with the students?
So within the CHIPS community, I've been a recent switch, but I was also a biology major previously. So I've been with other students on that pre-med, preclinical track. And I was a member of APPA last year. Wasn't an officer or anything, but I was pretty involved in that community. I also am going to join pre-med AMSA this year. So I have a pretty good understanding of the culture of that group and just the things that we're looking for and things like that.
Chair Temple.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Mr. Samuel. It's been a while. So I have two questions, if I may, Madam Chair.
You may.
All right, thank you. My first question revolves around your initiative regarding de-stress events. I'm not sure if you were aware, but last session, former Academic Affairs Coordinator Brandon Greenaway, current Chief of Staff, initiated this under a different name. I can't quite remember it, but have you been able to reach out to now Chief of Staff Greenaway and help and expand these de-stress events? And do you intend to work with him going forward, should you be appointed?
So I was not aware that had happened, but I'm really glad that it did. If I am appointed, I would like to do everything in my power to help and make that as successful as possible.
Okay. Then my follow-up question would be pertaining to your interest in the APIA caucus. So just generally speaking, what initiatives do you have for the APIA caucus in terms of advocating for them? What general ideas or plans do you have in so far as advocating for this community?
So far, my biggest one would really be geared toward our global students, international students who have just come. I saw that their biggest struggle was really with transportation. I know we have a grocery shuttle, but I believe it only runs 1 day a week. So, sometimes it doesn't work with their class schedule, things come up, and a lot of times they're just dealing with like huge inconveniences. They're walking miles to a grocery store and coming back, carrying groceries, stuff like that. And also just their involvements on campus. I see it sometimes they can struggle, be isolated a bit just because. I think I just got muted, my bad. I saw that sometimes they could struggle just dealing with the transition, dealing with culture changes. It's something especially I've seen in our ISA group, just being that's the one I've been most involved in, but I'm sure that's something that the grad students and international students of all groups are struggling with, and that's something that I wanted to push.
My apologies for that, Michael. I meant to mute a senator and accidentally muted you. All
No
right,
worries.
Senator Spalding.
Hi, thank you for being here. So sometimes as senators, we have to put, our personal thoughts and opinions to the side to do what's best for the student body. So my question to you is, do you feel this is something that you're more than capable of? And if you ever have a hard time putting aside your personal opinions and belief, how do you best overcome that?
So I do have strong opinions. I do feel strongly towards many different issues, but I do understand that sometimes there are times where I'll have to put those personal feelings aside to vote for whatever is best for the majority and whatever is best for the student body as a whole. So yes, I do feel like I can do that and put sometimes like my personal biases or personal feelings away to make sure that I make the best unbiased decision.
All right, we're gonna go Yalamachili and then Gil.
You mentioned your involvement in ISA and said that you are to be the vice president of ISA the next year. And I would like to ask, what have you learned? What skills have you learned in ISA that you feel that you can apply to Senate?
So ISA has really been one of the most enriching endeavors I've taken at UCF. I feel that I've really learned how to take criticism and especially time manage in these last 2 years of involvement with them. Just making the time to set up events and set up meetings, especially this summer as we prepared for this coming year. I feel like those are the two things that I've really worked on, as well as just being able to reach out to the community that I'm serving and make sure that their voices are heard and I'm not making assumptions based on whatever I'm just thinking. Just going straight to the source and really understanding what they need, what they're trying to convey, and make sure that's at the top of my mind. I think those are the things that I've learned the most from that experience.
Trigo.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Sorry, lovely to see you here. As a CHIPS tradition, if you could be a chip, what chip would you be?
Oh man, that's a tough one. If I could be a chip, I would probably be a Doritos Cool Ranch because I just like to chill out, just like to keep calm, you know.
Any other questions for the candidate? If not, I'll take a motion. McClellan,
Move to debate.
there's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Becerra, Borges, Yalamanchili.
I believe this candidate will be a great addition to the CHIPS with the other CHIPS senators. I believe he has strong initiatives, and I'm definitely looking forward to work alongside him. I encourage my fellow senators to vote for him as well.
Borges,
I think he's great and I love his initiatives. So I'll be voting in favor.
Yalamanchili.
I highly recommend all my fellow senators to vote in favor. Michael has had a lot of initiatives, a lot of good initiatives. He has been very passionate. I did not know him, but I accidentally happened to run into him somewhere, and I didn't know who he was, and this wasn't at UCF, but I could have sworn I'd seen him on campus before. And so I talked to him about student government, and he seemed very passionate about student government. And I think he can do a lot of good things, and I support his confirmation to Senate, and I believe that all my fellow senators should do so as well. Thank you.
Are there any dissenting opinions? Clear. Oh, all right, seeing none, go.
Move to vote on the confirmation of Michael Samuels for CHIP seat 5.
There's been a motion to vote on the confirmation of Michael Samuel for the College of Health Professions and Sciences, Senate seat 5. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. With a vote count of 29 to 0 to 2, congratulations, Senator Samuel. Trigo.
We will now be seeing the confirmation of Victor Ochoa for Senator of College of Medicine, seat 3.
Victor, you'll have 5 minutes when you're ready.
Hello, guys. I just want to introduce myself first. My name is Jose Victor Moraes Ochoa, or just Victor. I am a biomedical science major. I am going to be a senior starting this fall. I have a minor in Latin American studies and also psychology. I just want to give you guys a little background information about me. I actually was born and raised in another country, Brazil, and I moved to America when I was about 14, 15, and I did not know a lot about how the system in the United States worked. I mean, government-wise, school-wise, or anything. And that did not change that much because in the beginning I was a little shy, English barrier. And when I got here, my freshman year at UCF, it was complicated. First of all, I am a first generation college student in the United States, and it's not easy. First of all, I didn't know anything, and I felt so welcoming, especially by Pre-Med IMSA. I don't know if you guys know, but it's pretty big RSO, and they helped me. I can even thank them enough, honestly. So my involvements in this campus is with Pre-Med IMSA. I was a director for global health, and it's been fantastic. I also have to thank you guys because we had our service trip to Peru in May, and thank to SG, to the student government, we were able to get funding, and the students had an amazing time in Peru, and it was great. We got to help a lot of people. I'm also involved in research here on campus. My research is in sociology with Dr. Donnelly. It is an IPV. If you guys don't know what that is intimate partner violence. I think it's something very important. My section of the research is actually culture-wise, how people are sometimes stuck in a relationship and a marriage because of visa status. Otherwise, they can get deported. And I think it's very important to listen to those people and learn how we can improve that. I am also involved in Lead Scholars. I really enjoyed it because we just got to talk about ethics. It's different from any class here we have at UCF, and it's been great as well. I do have a couple proposals. My first proposal as a pre-med student is to create a database for research. Research can be very complicated, and if it wasn't for the connections with Pre-Med IMSA, I wouldn't be able to have those research. So I think it is very important to create a database where students can find professors who are looking for students to contribute. My second proposal is also to just create incentives for students to join RSOs, like for example, Pre-Med IMSA, because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here right now. My third proposal is to also create a database for shadowing, just like for research. I feel like, especially for students coming from other countries or even other states, it can be very complicated to find shadowing because they just don't know doctors, So it is very important to give these students opportunities. My fourth proposal is to also connect with multicultural students, like for example, Latinx, or like clubs like the Braza, or even Asians, like every single culture. I feel like it is very important because just like I struggled whenever I got here in the United States and here at UCF, I feel like there are a lot of students out there who are in the same position as I was, and they deserve a chance just like everyone else. So I really want to help them out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you.
Great. Now I'm for questioning. I'm so sorry. Okay, Hall, then Borges.
Just something, because I relate, I'm also a rising senior. Why did you want to join student government? I feel like a lot of people think it's late in our school careers, but what made you want to decide to take the plunge?
So the biggest reason why I decided to join the student government was actually to help these students, as I mentioned before. When I first got here at UCF, I struggled a lot to just know what to do. I see that there are a lot of students who are passionate, who are dedicated, and they just want opportunities, and they just don't know the ways to get these opportunities. And I want to do anything in my power to help these students.
I apologize. I don't know why I'm laughing, but like once I start laughing, I can't stop. All right, Borges, then Becerra, Yalmanchili, then Temple.
Okay, thank you. So which title contains information about the legislative branch?
The legislative branch is Title III.
All right, Becerra.
Hello. Do you plan to join on any SG caucuses?
I haven't looked into it already yet, but I'm definitely gonna be looking into it furthermore because I saw that there are a lot of caucuses that help students, and I just want to, as I said, help all the students possible and give them opportunities. That's my main goal here in the student government.
Yalomachili, sorry, that noise in the back of the room just keeps getting me. I don't know. Yalomachili, you have the floor.
Hello, Victor. Do you know which title is responsible for ethics and morality?
I am not sure.
Right, Chair Temple.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Mr. Uchoa. Sorry, long day. So 2 questions, if I may.
You may.
So I wish to ask about your research database first and foremost, and I'm going to try not to step on the shoes of ENA because this is a question that was asked in the committee. But how do you intend to utilize your position to craft and distribute and bring attention to this database? What I mean by that is, who do you intend to reach out to, and what resources do you intend on utilizing to craft this? Because it sounds like a very interesting proposal.
Yes, so first of all, I feel like the student government can be huge in that. My main idea is actually to create, because look, at UCF, we have so many websites, so many resources that people just don't know where to go. And for research, you should create something specific because, well, you can just go online and search a professor's name and see what they're researching about, but you got to know which professor it is. You kind of got to have some background information about it. So I feel like we should provide students that background information, creating a page where they are able to literally find whatever they need and to find the resources to get a position or possibly get an interview. And I feel like the student government could play a major role in that.
My second question was answered in his answer, Madam Speaker, so thank you.
All right, any other questions? Sarah?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Sorry, we're just looking at AJ. He's just sitting there eating. All right, seeing none, we're now in debate. We'll go Temple, Yalomachili, and Becerra.
I'm not quite sure what Chair Patel is doing, but I'm very afraid, but that's beside the point. So I would like to encourage all my fellow senators to vote in favor of Mr. Uchoa, not the least bit because he wants to join ORS and SBA in order to help out, in order to advocate for students. But I'm also really interested in his novel approaches at consolidating information through his research database. Like I've taken a very similar approach with the legislative reports for GAP. So, but should Mr. Uchoa be appointed and confirmed? Yeah, I think that this database will be an excellent asset for students going forward. And again, like he's answered these questions to the best of his ability and great, might I add. So I would encourage all of you to vote in favor of this candidate.
Chair Yalomachili.
I concur with the sentiments of Chair Temple and believe that my fellow senators should vote in favor. I am also voting in favor. I believe the candidate has had very good responses to all the questions that have been asked and has presented novel initiatives that we typically do not see in student government. His perspectives as a first-generation student in the United States give him perspectives that other students would normally not get. So he understands the struggles of those who come here from other countries and what we can do to help them. And I think that is a trait that is valuable in student government. And I encourage my fellow senators to vote in favor.
Becerra?
Yeah, I'm going to echo the same sentiments as Chair Yalomachili and Chair Temple. I believe this candidate has very good initiatives, and I'm very interested as a pre-med about the research thing as well. I definitely want to work alongside you, to get that done. So I highly encourage my fellow senators to vote for him in favor. Definitely like the initiatives.
Are there any dissenting opinions? Seeing none, Chair Gall.
Move to vote on the confirmation of Victor Ochoa for College of Medicine C3.
There's been a motion to vote on the confirmation of Victor Ochoa for the College of Medicine Senate Seat 3. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. For a second, I didn't know what you did wrong, and I was like, wait, there it is. With a vote count of 34 to 0 to 0, congratulations, Senator Ochoa.
Thank you so much.
Chair Gall.
We will now be seeing the confirmation of Jay Palmer for College CECS Engineering Seat 2.
Great, and you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm introduce myself. My name is Jay Parmar. I am a computer science major. I'm an international student. I'm from India. The reason I want to join student government is that UCF has been very kind to me. Like, I really enjoyed the experience, the opportunities. Give me a moment. I'm nervous. So it has provided me with a lot of opportunities, and the initiatives I want to help my fellow colleagues, my international students. So international students do not actually get a lot of options for housing, like Nike or Hercules. We are only provided with towers. So I want to give more opportunities to international students so that they can pick a cheaper option if they want to. That's one thing. Another thing I want to help with is community building. We must have workshops of different belief systems and different factors in life. I'm too nervous. So basically what I want to say is I want to help my community as much as possible. Some initiatives I have thought about is having tax workshops, having different speakers, entrepreneurs come here and speak to our fellow students, right? Having different professors of various colleges speak to us. So for example, in CCS, in the field of computer science, there's an AI, and then there's a great entrepreneur whose name is Andrew Naggins. If we could have him come here and speak to our fellow students about how AI will help develop the future. So that's just one example. I'm sure everyone's field has a lot of speakers. But so yeah, that's just some of my ideas, and that's all my time.
Great. We're now online for questioning. Sarah, then Wanjin.
Hello. Do you plan to join in any caucuses for SG?
I have not looked into caucuses yet. I do not know which ones exist. Once I find something which I can relate to, then I will definitely join a caucus and serve that community.
Wanjin?
Thank you for being here tonight. What are you most excited for if you're reconfirmed in the Senate?
Could you repeat the question?
What are you most excited for if you get back in the Senate, like we confirm you tonight?
It will really teach me a lot about, so my future goal is to run for president of UCF. So I think Senate would be a really good teaching lesson for me to understand the funding and how everything works in the student government. I'm really excited to learn as much as to gain as much knowledge as possible about this whole criteria.
Senator Spalding?
May I retain?
You may.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, what?
You may.
Okay. So Senate, as you know, is time consuming, or at least it can be time consuming when you have committees and caucuses, if you do join one, and then Senate itself. So my question is how, what strategy do you have to best manage your time so that you can continue to give like 100% of your effort to not only Senate, but to the student body?
for time management, I really keep track my time. Each activity which I do, I plan my things ahead of time so that I know what activities I'm doing. That's what I would try to give out to the student body, like time management workshops and stuff like that. We can create applications for night schedule where students are automatically shown their classes along with their work. My bad. Along with their work and their club. So students have to keep track of their time about club activities and classes and work and everything like that. So instead of that, if you could provide them with an app which connects the UCF whole system as a whole, and then show them the whole schedule, that would really help them save time. So there are a lot of ideas floating around the air.
Yeah, move to go to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're on debate. Wanjin, then Becerra.
I'm sure you guys have all heard me talk about how I wish there were more engineering senators. So I'm absolutely overjoyed that an engineering or computer science major, so still CECS, is interested, especially interested in fiscal. I think his initiatives are great, and I will be voting highly in favor.
Becerra?
I too believe that his initiatives are great, and I would love to work with him as well in the future, and I encourage my fellow senators to vote for him in favor.
Chair Gall.
Move to vote on the confirmation of Jay Palmer for College of Engineering and Computer Science, Senate Seat 2.
There's been a motion to vote on the confirmation for Jay Palmer for the College of Engineering and Computer Science Seat 2. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're in voting procedures. With a vote count of 31-0 to 1, congratulations, Senator Palmer.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I keep laughing. I need to decorum myself, but I see AJ eating carrots and it's just like, yeah. Chair Go.
Move to table or move to postpone the confirmation of Tamani Harris for the Election Commission Seat 3 until next week.
There's been a motion to postpone the confirmation of Tamani Harris for the Election Commission Seat 3 to next week. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll take that as general consent. It's postponed to next week. All right. Internal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, constitutional amendments, none, bills, none, resolutions, resolution 5405, resolution advocating for strict gun law reform in the state of Florida by Vice Chair Almanar is hereby remanded to GAP. Proclamations, none, special acts, none, notice of legislation on third reading, none, notice of legislation on second reading, constitutional amendments, none, bills, internal bill 5412, updates to Title II, the LJR committee. Is there a motion for 5-minute speeches, 15-minute questioning, 15-minute debate? Any objections? Seeing none. LJR, 5 minutes when you are ready.
All right, so this is pretty straightforward. Basically, in 2019, the term supermajority was removed from statutes and replaced with 2/3. They're used interchangeably and they're the same thing. And basically, this was just getting rid of supermajority from the definitions, as it's not relevant anymore because it shouldn't have been in statutes, and it's been removed. So it's just deleting that. And yeah, I'll yield to questioning.
Great, we're now online for questioning. Salcedo?
Hello, is there anywhere else that supermajority is mentioned that we might need to update as well?
No, it should. This attorney general was gonna, unfortunately, it looks like it wasn't removed fully from all the statutes by a past attorney general. So it should be all done now from the internal bill that was passed a few sessions ago.
Chair Hall?
Just 2 questions, if I may.
You may.
Just the first one. So just for clarity, so is it the issue here that it says supermajority in one place, but 2/3 in other places throughout the titles?
Yes, like supermajority is used in Title II, but it's not a relevant term anymore.
And then just to clarify, just doing the math, that 2/3 makes it 66%, correct, versus 75?
Yes.
Is there a motion for a non-committee member to speak, that non-committee member being Birdie? Any objections? Seeing none. Birdie?
Just to give you all some context, and I think Chair Ray and the committee mentioned it a little bit in the whereas clauses. A couple years back, so I wasn't there when they originally removed supermajority, or whenever they did in the beginning, but a couple years ago they realized that there were places that said supermajority and there were other places that said 2/3. So they added this definition and they chose 75% because the assumption was, if there were some places that said 2/3 and some places that said supermajority, they must be meaning something different than 2/3. So they chose 75%. And I'm sure they had reason for that, but right, there was an assumption that they should be two different things. Otherwise, you wouldn't use them interchangeably, right? You would just have one term. And I think that's the real reason that they used them interchangeably, as the bill says, is just that it wasn't taken out correctly. So yeah, I think the intention was for them always to be 2/3. Hopefully that context helps.
Great. Any other questions? McClellan?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Do you withdraw? Sarah?
Motion for a non-committee member to speak, that one being AJ Moore.
There's been a motion for a non-committee member to speak, that person being the Attorney General. Any objections? Seeing none, Attorney General Moore.
I just wanted to quickly clarify that 2/3 as defined by statutes would be twice as many for than against. If that makes sense. So it wouldn't be like 75% like the mathematical, but twice as many for than of against votes.
Great. Any other questions? If not, take a motion. McClellan?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're down to debate. Chair Hall.
Yeah, I'm going to clarify. I just wanted to know. I don't particularly care. But I think specifically, I mean, it sounds more like it's a clerical issue, and I think it'll just create more clarity across the board. So I think we should support it.
Any other debate? Richard?
Yeah, I agree with the changes made. Can we just change the definition of 2/3 because it's confusing to me?
Wondering?
So if I could provide, I think, some context about why 2/3 is defined the way it is, it's so that so one of the questions that came up during confirmations for the executive branch was, do abstentions count in a 2/3 vote? That wasn't like asked on the floor, but I heard it from several people. And the intent is that they don't count, which is why it's not defined as like 66% of votes say yes. It's twice as many for as against, because that is 66% of votes that are cast and not abstaining, is basically what that means. It's just that it's defined in a way that's about as simple to write as possible. And it makes it a little bit easier if you're looking at it to go, okay, if it's 34 to 17 to 20, then that's still 2/3.
Any other debate? If not, take a motion. Sarah?
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote on internal bill 5412. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're down voting procedures. With a vote count of 26 to 0 to 3, internal bill 5412 passes favorably on second reading. Internal bill 5413 updates to Title IV by Vice Chair McClellan. Vice Chair McClellan, 5 minutes when you're ready.
Good evening, everybody. So this is pretty straightforward when you read it. It's going to clarify the powers of the Attorney General and of the opinion. We'll read it for everybody to hear. The Attorney General may, through an opinion, acknowledge the invalid filing of a censure or impeachment or any such document or decision and make it void. And then also an invalid filing includes only procedural error. The original, this was amended in LJR. The original that I had written up and submitted said an invalid filing may include misinterpretation of statutes and procedural errors, but the committee decided to change it to only procedural errors. Just thought I'd bring that up for people to think about if they, just to think about. This is just to make sure that there is no gray space to be confused going further with this hopefully rare situation. This comes up, it really doesn't come up. It comes up fairly rare. So just in those situations, I want it to make to be clear so there's no confusions like we've seen this session going further.
Great. We're now in line for questioning. Please make sure you're looking at the document. Right. We're gonna go Temple, then Holmes, then Hall.
Vice Chair McClellan, did you reach out to the Attorney General and clarify that she approves of this definition?
I have had 2 meetings with the branch heads and the Attorney General to talk about this bill, and they were there when I was drafting this bill.
Chair Holmes?
My question was asked by Vice Chair Temple. I mean, Chair Temple. Wait, Vice Chair. Chair Temple. I said it right first time.
Chair Hall?
Just for clarity for the chamber, can you just kind of give an example of what a procedural error would look like? Like, just so people know what we're kind of talking about in the realm of.
Yeah, so I guess I could use an example of, let's say for a censure or an impeachment, the ones that are specifically said, if there was an issue with how it was written, that it maybe doesn't tie back to any statutes that we either have authority over, or if it was filed incorrectly in terms of timing. And the documents like a censure are sent to people prior, but it's no guarantee that they'll be looked over. So any errors like that could slip through. So in the event that any of those slip through and are seen by a committee or whatever, it would, of course, upon request of an opinion, the Attorney General could acknowledge those incorrect procedural errors.
Any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion. Temple?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Chair Hall, then Chair Temple.
Yeah, I think that this internal bill is kind of a compromise measure, similar to, I remember when we talked about this issue previously, there was an amendment that was never taken up that was kind of outlining this different wording, but same intention. And so I think that especially after the deliberations that the sponsor has had with the branch heads and the Attorney General, I think that this, as of now, is a good compromise measure going forward. I think if people want to look into this stuff more in the future, they're more than welcome to, but I think that this is a really good basis to not just start with. I'm not saying it's going to keep going, but more like I think that this is a good compromise that will create some more clarity. So I think that we should support this.
Chair Temple?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will echo the sentiments of Chair Hall. In that I see this as a good go between what was mentioned prior and the last time we had deliberated on such a measure, and considering that there was much that Vice Chair McClellan went out of his way to talk with the branch heads and as well as the Attorney General twice. I place great faith in him that this has been very meticulously been cultivated to make sure that we don't see any further issues regarding the authority of the AG going forward. So I encourage my fellow senators then to vote in favor of this piece of legislation.
Chair Yalamanchili?
I would also like to echo the sentiments of the Chair Hall and Chair Temple. I support the bill. I did not support the original version of the bill because I felt that it gave the Attorney General too much power by specifying that the Attorney General can void a censure for misinterpretation of statutes, which I felt was vague and potentially a bad precedent. But we have taken that out in the LJR committee, and I believe that the bill has provided a good scope for the Attorney General to void documents that are filed improperly. It is imperative to the Senate that documents are indeed filed properly, and I think it's the bill is a good compromise for that, and I encourage my fellow senators to vote in favor.
Are there any dissenting opinions? Seeing none, I'll take a motion. Temple,
Move to vote on Internal Bill 5413.
there's been a motion to vote on Internal Bill 5413. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 3, Internal Bill 5413 passes favorably on second reading. Were the newly confirmed senators sworn in? Chief Justice Carr?
So one of the ECers did leave the Zoom call, but I emailed them. All the senators were sworn in though, yeah.
All right, let's get them present and voting. Senator Samuel. Not here. All right, Senator Ochea.
Present voting.
So noted at 8:11 p.m. Senator Palmer.
Present.
So noted at 8:11 p.m. All right. And congratulations, by the way. Resolutions none, proclamations, Proclamation 5411, proclamation recognizing Minority Mental Health Month. Chair Gell, 5 minutes when you're ready.
Awesome. Yeah, so this proclamation was created to honor and recognize July as Minority Mental Health Month. I put in here the UCF population of students that are minority and minority communities. As mentioned in SBA, this is pertaining to ethnic minorities. And so that is why I don't see any other marginalized minorities in this legislation. Everything that I pulled, all the data I pulled, I have all the links as well. And yeah, this is just honestly a proclamation so that UCF honors that, recognizes that, and recognizes the disparities of mental health in marginalized communities. With that, I will yield the rest of my time to questions.
Great, we're now in line for questioning. Please make sure you're looking at the document. Borges.
Yeah, so what steps are going to be put in place to actually help minorities with mental health after this is passed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm working with Senator Tamarla and Senator Salcedo for an event moving forward. I also think that it's integral to start letting students know of all of the CAPS groups that are going on. I know that I have all the resources of like all the CAPS groups, which I will link. I was going to do that during Senate Forum of the different groups. These are all groups that are produced by CAPS. So I think honestly, letting people know of that moving forward and working within the caucuses to continue to promote mental health within minority communities.
Any other questions? Chair Holmes?
Hi, did you reach out to any RSOs or organizations here on campus regarding this proclamation and your next steps?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I did not, as I knew about this in such a short time. I didn't have enough time to do that as the month of July was coming up. So I have not been able to talk to RSOs. However, like I've mentioned, maybe I haven't mentioned yet, an event will be happening where RSOs will be invited and included in this. Moving forward, and maybe even moving forward into the fall semester, we can have those conversations with RSOs that fall within this proclamation and getting their input as well. But I did not as of now.
Second question.
Could you give us more insight into this event that you would like to hold regarding this month?
Yeah. Oh. I turned the wrong mic on. I turned it on the Zoom. Are you talking about the event for this month or the future event of getting RSOs like involved in having that like table talk conversation?
Third question. Third question.
I asked a clarity question.
Because you mentioned an event, so I was just asking what that event would be.
Yeah, absolutely. So the logistics for that is not fully out. I'm meeting with Senator DeMarlin Salcedo tomorrow to finalize everything, as there were concerns about if we could even get funding because the new fiscal year started July 1st. So we've already talked to Brody about that and ensuring, and I will make sure to communicate and talk with the speaker as well.
Any other questions? And I will reiterate again, please take a look at the document that you're voting on. You're voting on behalf of your constituents. Might be a good idea to take a look at what you're voting on. Any other questions? Borges.
Sorry if I misheard, just a clarifying question. Are you talking about getting funding for the event in July or later on?
In July.
Point of information, the timeline is too close to get funding for July.
Let's wait till I call you for point of information, all right? Any other questions? Borges?
Ask you a clarifying question. Do I have to get speaker acknowledgement to get point of informations?
Yes.
May I direct it to Brody?
Make a motion for a non-committee member to speak.
Their motion. Can I make a motion for Brody to speak?
Motion, is it, there's been a motion for a non-committee member to speak, that person being Brody. Any objections to that? Seeing none, Brody.
Same question. Do you? Yeah, no, she's correct. Yes.
I believe from Robert. Sorry.
Great. Borges,
Yeah. I was asking a follow-up to Brody. Is that okay?
Brody, last question.
Does it say that in our statutes, or is that because I think Robert's rules says we don't?
Let me check to confirm. I believe points of information are different than other points that can be interrupted. So I could be wrong, but I can check on that for you.
Great. Becerra,
Can I direct a question to Chair Borges?
you may.
Well, wait. I'm not a fiscal master, but can I take back that question?
Do you have another question?
Yes.
Right.
For anyone in FAO.
You may.
So if Chair Gal wants to get supplies, isn't there like 2 weeks that it takes to get the supplies? Like they have to submit a form and then it takes 2 weeks. I just want clarification.
Someone on FAO? Chair Millington or Vice Chair Anderson?
I'm so sorry. I'm having some sound issues. So if Alexa is on here, she might be able to hear it better because it's cutting in and out for me.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Yeah, so for certain events around campus, such as for Chair Gal's events, doesn't she need to like submit a form and it takes 2 weeks in order to get the funding?
I'm sorry, I'm having an issue hearing you completely.
Great. Senator Richard?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, any events that senators put on would not go through FAO. She would have to coordinate with the speaker, and that would come out of the legislative budget. I'm not positive on the timeline, though.
All right, we'll go back into questions. All right, any questions? If not, I'll take a motion. Wandren?
Move to go to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Chair Salerno?
Hello, everyone. I would like to encourage, well, actually, motion to see all the amendments in the document
As a block.
as a block.
There's been a motion to see all the amendments in the document as a block. Are there any objections to that? Seeing none, they'll now be seen as a block. Chair Salerno?
Are they technicals?
Not all of them. Some of them are deleting whereas clauses, so. Wanjin?
I'll speak on the one that's deleting whereas clauses. It's just combining 3 whereas clauses because 2 of them aren't sentences and they can just be combined into 1 sentence.
Any other debate on the amendments? If not, I'll take a motion on that. Becerra?
Move to vote on the amendments.
There's been a motion to vote on the block of amendments. Are there any objections to that? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures on the block of amendments. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 0, the block of amendments passes. Any other debate? Chair Holmes, then Borges.
I'm not really sure how I'm gonna vote on this proclamation, just because there's no really clear plan on how it's gonna follow through. I've heard 2 different things from the SBA minutes and then from Chair Gell's explanation of what she plans to do with this proclamation. And it just seems a little bit more performative than actually advocating on the behalf of minority mental health, especially with the July coming so close to end. Not close to end, it's only the 7th, but just the timeline is just off, especially with not any concrete really details of what's going to be followed through with this. So I don't think I'm going to be voting on this proclamation. I'm just not completely sure.
Chair Borges?
Yeah, so we'll have to concur with Chair Holmes. I know it's already July, but the lack of communication to RSOs and no true steps on how to solve any issues being made. I'm wary of approving yet another proclamation with no true changes for the student body. I'll refer to what Chair Tashe said last meeting. I also don't like how funding an RSO that will request from FAO was mentioned for July when that is not possible. I feel like more research should have been done.
All right. Any dissenting or Salerno?
I just want to provide an opinion, but also a point of information. Everyone saw that this was passed favorably in SBA. I will be speaking highly in favor of this proclamation. I know that there were some doubts on the follow through, and it has been spoken about before about proclamations and the use of proclamations and being intentional with the proclamations. I do want to highlight that although this proclamation is specifically meant to celebrate Minority Mental Health Month in July, all of the initiatives that are being provided by Chair Gell with Chair Salcedo and Vice Chair DeMarla can be continued through and celebrated without it being July. There has been a lot of celebrations and a lot of proclamations that were passed after the event, so this shouldn't be the exception. And if we're doing that, then we should have gone back on a lot of the proclamations that we passed on. I think that she is doing correct by contacting the right persons in student government. This is a Senate initiative. I don't think, correct me if I'm mistaken, because I don't think we discussed it in SBA, but this is not about funding an RSO. This is just funding an event that's done by Senate about Minority Mental Health Month. So I encourage you all to vote in favor. It's a really, really great proclamation. It tackles a lot of the things. A lot of you have talked about mental health and how important it is on campus. And I think that it's really important to highlight those groups provided by CAPS. So yeah.
All right, we'll go Taché, then Spalding to start.
Yeah, so I know that people are referencing my anti-proclamation sentiment. I'm actually for this proclamation. I think, first of all, it's a very good cause, but the second thing is like the good proclamations that I pointed to when I gave that speech, such as the May Day proclamation and the Dreamers proclamation, those didn't necessarily have anything to, like, the proclamations themselves didn't necessarily state what they were going to be used for, but the authors of it had intent to, you know, use it properly. If we were talking from square one and Daisy was asking for my opinion on how she should go about this, I would say just go ahead and like do the project. You don't need the proclamation, but we're already here. It's on second reading right now. We've already asked the questions and debated on it. Like, I'm going to vote for this because, you know, all of my concerns about proclamations in general are kind of invalid in this case. Like, it's not going to waste us any more time by doing this since we're already on second reading. And she does have a plan. If it comes to fruition or not, you know, is yet to be seen. Hopefully it does. That would be great if it does. But, you know, at least there is a plan, which is a good thing, and progress on how we're doing these. So props to you, Chair Gell.
Senator Spalding.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo the sentiments of Chair Salerno and Chair Tache. We voted on this in SBA and we talked about it. And I think that this proclamation, first of all, I didn't even know that this was like Minority Mental Health Month. So number one, it just brings awareness to things and it educates us and also the student body first and foremost. And I think that the direction in which Chair Gell wishes to take this proclamation, it's headed in the right direction. And yeah, there's not a solid concrete plan, but or whether we haven't seen the action behind that plan per se, but there is like moves in place to do them, if that makes sense. And then not to mention that this is, I am the biggest advocate of mental health. So I'm going to be voting in favor, and I, you know, would encourage you all to do the same.
Right, we've now heard 3 of the same sentiments in a row. Are there any dissenting opinions on that? Y'all Manchili, dissenting opinion? Great, seeing none, I'll take a motion. Temple?
Move to vote on Proclamation 5411.
There's been a motion to vote on Proclamation 5411. Any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. With a vote count of 31 to 1, Proclamation 5411 passes favorably on second reading. Great. Special acts, none. Senate Forum, Vice Chair McClellan.
Oh, Senate Forum. Hello again, everybody. So regarding what I mentioned last week, I have since received the public records request that I'd had done on ENA. It is linked in the agenda in the minutes for everybody to see. So just following up on what I mentioned. Also, just in regards to the motion I made at the end of last week's meeting, obviously, we all saw what happened with former pro temp Cerisi's resignation. Just quickly about that, if anybody wants to, is curious or anything, I'm happy to talk about it if you reach out. But I think a lot of it is apparent at this point, and I just wanted to share what I said I would and just say those things. Thank you.
Chair Gell.
Yeah, first I want to comment. I think there's just like a lot of misunderstanding with the resolution or the proclamation wasn't within RSO funding, Senate funding. Just want to clear that up. I do hope you all hold me accountable. I know the event will come into fruition, but that's what we're all here for. Hold me accountable if you don't think so, or message me privately. Research. I'm involved in research. I'll link that or send it in the group me. We're looking for, sorry, Chair Salcedo, you're over the age now, but we're looking for the age range now of like 4 to I would say around 17-year-olds with no facial anomaly. So if you're interested in that, that's a free $50 gift card. You have any siblings, cousins, family members, anyone around the area, I'll link that. Public records, I just wanted to comment on this and make a formal statement. I've been public records for all my emails from February 1st to June 27th. I'm not sure why that extensive period's happening. I won't comment on anything else. You all know how I felt about feeling targeted in this chamber. Hopefully moving forward, everything gets better. But recently I have been public records for that long. There's nothing in the emails. And so just moving forward, like if you have suspicion of something, by all means, public records requests. I think that that's an important tool, but to public records request an entire email from February 1st to June 27th of both of the ENA account and my CHIPS account feels a little bit like targeting, like someone's trying to find something on me, trying to find where I screw up. I just wanted to say I don't really appreciate it. And moving forward, I just encourage you all to use public records requests, not as a means to find dirt on people, as a means to gotcha people, but if you have suspicions of something, please do that. And then the CAPS thing, like I mentioned, I'll also put that in the group chat. There's CAPS releases this stuff like today's
1 minute remaining.
Okay, like today's there's a QPR for suicide prevention. Tomorrow the 8th, there's racial trauma healing, all done by CAPS. There's so many different workshops. They happen like every day. And I think this is a cool resource that we can use and maybe promote within our chambers and see how we as SG can help support CAPS, because I know it's a big initiative for a lot of us. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with that. And thank you.
Great, Chair Urea.
Just a scholarship opportunity I found for anyone who identifies as LGBTQ. And also I'm going to censure the door if it does not stop beeping. I don't know what is wrong with it, but someone please figure it out. That's it.
All right, Chair Salerno.
So congratulations to all the newly elected SG agents. I'm really looking forward to working with you all. I wanted to plug a few things. So the first thing, register for the MAS conference. If you are a transfer student, freshman, sophomore, know anyone, it's not specifically for those groups, but those groups would benefit the most. The conference is being held on August 26th to the 28th, and it is an incredible opportunity for the groups that I mentioned. This is how I got involved at the university. It was one of the first experiences that I had. I came as a transfer student, and it was incredibly enriching. I saw workshops from career services, AP, and I got involved and connected to a lot of my current mentors, which have opened a lot of doors for me. So really encourage you all to network. It is $30. It includes transportation, lodging, and the workshops and entertainment. The conference is being held at the Caribe Royale. Really amazing hotel, really amazing amenities. But other than that, the workshops are going to be really great, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then a message to all of the caucus leadership. My friend and colleague, Marcus, who's a student director at MSC, asked me to kind of tell you all to contact him with your availability for the next couple of weeks. He would like to contact you all to collaborate and see how caucuses and MSC can collaborate in the future. Is incredibly resourced and incredibly networked. So I encourage you all to do so. I plugged his email there. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And that is all.
All right, Vice Chair Robbins.
Awesome. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say welcome new SG agents, especially our new senators. We're happy to have you. And excited that you're here, and just wanted to plug on behalf of Chair Temple and I, the fiscal and financial committees that we have here, including RS, CRT, and FAO. Any one of us would love to have you guys, and RS is actively looking for new members, so feel free to keep that on your radar.
All right, Chair Hall.
Yeah, so I just want to briefly talk about something that came to attention today, specifically related to the UCF English department and a anti-racism statement that they made previous year from the current year. Specifically today, that statement was flagged by the university as now null and void because of the new Stop Woke Act that was passed at the state level. And all I wanted to say about that is since then, the public pressure has taken that label off of the anti-racism statement. But just to understand in the coming weeks and months to pay close attention to the encroachment of government onto academia. I think that this is just the first thing that we're going to see specifically impact UCF. Brody specifically mentioned during my workplace harassment bill that UCF itself is having to go back and reevaluate diversity training. I'm not going to comment on my personal opinion of those things, but what I can say is that this is something that was not asked for by any major university or institution. This is something that is impacting us as students without our voices being heard. And now specific departments on this campus are being threatened and harassed because of it. And so I think as a body, just to watch in the future what you see, just not just on social media, but in future things coming out from this university to make sure that they are upholding the UCF creed that includes things like this anti-racism statement. So just keep a lookout. And when these things continue to pop up, I will continue to speak on them on the floor because they deserve to be heard.
Great. Chair Holmes.
Hi, I also wanted to clarify on Proclamation 5411. I think it's a great proclamation. I just had, my own questions about it, but I would love to see Chair Gell follow through on it. And I'm very looking forward to all the initiatives that Chair Salcedo and Senator DeMarlo are going to do. So congratulations on getting that passed. And additionally, just pointing back to what Chair Hall said, please continue to be aware of these things and make sure you're registered to vote and you do vote when the time comes. Because it's just very important, especially to us as students. We're citizens too, and these things affect us every single day. So please educate your peers, your family members, all that. And that's all from me.
Senator Spalding.
Okay, so I have a question that I'm not really sure if we can talk about. So if not, just let me know. But the records that we requested that was linked, can we get more clarity on them? Because I read them and I'm really not sure what I'm reading. So I don't know if that's allowed or if that's something just wanting clarification. If anyone can answer that, I don't care who.
Vice Chair Almanar.
Can we move to Senate deliberations for this discussion?
It's even over there. All right. Anyone else for Senate Forum? Borges?
Can I actually ask you 2 questions, Speaker Cresses?
You may.
Because just procedurally, I know we postponed the pro tempore elections. Is that to the next regularly scheduled meeting or just the next meeting?
Next regularly scheduled Senate meeting, to my knowledge, which would be next Thursday. You're good. All right. Any other questions? Or anyone else for Senate Forum? Seeing none. Some deliberations. Anyone wishing to enter a period of deliberation? Vice Chair Almanar.
Enter Senate deliberations to discuss the findings from the ENA public records request.
All right, we're now in a period of Senate deliberation regarding the public records request. Chair Gell.
Yeah, Senator Spalding. So I will answer from my perspective. There was a no confidence vote on me in ENA. Vice Chair McClellan was there. A concern was brought up about texting. He records requested all of the messages between SG agents during the time, what was found, pro tempore Cerisi texting individuals to vote one way or not on a confirmation, on the no confidence confirmation. Personally, it's really disheartening to feel once again attacked by the pro tempore in their office and those individuals in their office. I definitely have a lot of ethical concerns, especially if they're reaching out to Vice Chair Almanar, Senator Holmes to vote a specific way, and then reaching out to potentially delete those messages is a large ethical concern for me. And I can only imagine what was occurring between people she feels more comfortable with. Other than that, and how I feel about it, since it was about me, I forgive pro tempore Cerisi. I just want to move forward, and I hope that we as a body can continue to be better and move forward. But with that, that's kind of just my perspective on everything. I do think an investigation should happen regarding who Pro Tempore Cerisi was closest to, and especially officers in her office, because I feel like a lot of the behavior that's been happening in Senate relates around a specific circle of people. And I just think that we as a body really need to hold them accountable. And I will leave it at that.
Holmes?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to speak on this as well. I will preface that I did vote no on the no confidence against Chair Gell because I saw the argument as weak. But I did want to mention, like, I was reached out to as well. I was offered to meet with Pro Temp Cerisi to just talk. I wasn't sure what it was about, but due to her not feeling well, we never got to meet. So I was public records requested, and I was more than happy to send in my text between Nick, which was that the speech was weak. I just wanted to speak on that, and it was just a little, the no confidence was just a surprise to me because I hadn't been in Senate for 2 weeks prior. So that's what I wanted to speak on as well.
Before we continue to clarify, Chair Borges, your question, it's not the next regularly scheduled, it's just the following Senate meeting, but that is the next Senate meeting. So on Thursday. All right, Foster.
Okay. From my perspective as well, I did abstain during the no confidence because I thought the argument was weak, and I personally felt I couldn't ethically vote yes to uphold the no confidence. So I did abstain. So that's how I voted. I guess the public records request was there to see what was going on, or if people were speaking about how they were voting during the meeting, but I was busy like taking minutes for like an hour and a half. So I didn't have much to send in, but I did abstain because I didn't find enough evidence to no confidence Chair Gell.
Chair Hall, then McClellan.
Yeah, so as someone who's also been on the committee, the reason why my name's not on there is because I had nothing to submit, though I realize now looking at Senator Domino's, I guess I could have sent in the ENA group chat with the Zoom link, as that was the only communications I had. Frankly, there are concerns that I have, particularly with the text message chains that I do see with regards to the Pro Temp office as a whole caring so much about this no confidence vote, to the point that they're in communication during it about the no confidence vote. I have concerns specifically related to communication between one senator and one of the deputy pro temps with regards to clarifying comments made about Senator Gell's relationship with Chief of Staff Brandon Greenaway, which tells me that the pro temp's office was actively looking at all the minutes while they were being written in real time. Kind of confused why that was happening, particularly when the deputy in question was not in the committee. I also do find it concerning that it is made clear that the pro temp was speaking directly to former Senator Cox. And obviously we do not have any documents one or the other, but there is specifically a text message that says that the former senator is concerned that AG Moore is there, which implies that there was communication going on. That's concerning, considering the senator themselves was the one making the no confidence motion. I also, if there could be any clarity about why there was musical chairs with the pro temp rep being in the chamber, I'd love to hear that. But long story short, I do echo the calls that I think that there needs to be formal investigation about this, as well as, again, why compared to any other committee, there was so much of a focus on this no confidence vote, and specifically with the text messages that we see with Senator Almanar, why there was such a strong concern about retaliation, particularly when it is clear that this no confidence vote did not come out of a vacuum. And so that's kind of my perception as an ENA member. I'm very disappointed with what's happened, that there was clear interference from outside of the committee, let alone there were things that were not relevant to the no confidence that were brought up that felt more and more like just further ways to discredit Chair Gell. And to me, it is very concerning to see so much outside involvement on a specific committee, as I would feel concerned about any other committee.
All right, we're gonna go McClellan, Wanjin, then Spalding.
So as to kind of the original reason why this deliberation happened, it was a question on, I believe, what you're looking at, if I'm not mistaken. When you're looking at these images, I'm just going to say that I sat in on ENA for the no confidence because I was curious and I just wanted to be present. I witnessed a lot of people messaging. I thought that was fishy. I requested them that weekend when I finally had time. And then that was for this records request why I submitted it. I will also note that there are 2 images in that folder that were actually not submitted with the request. They were sent to me after the fact relating to the request. And those are the messages between Vice Chair Almanar and former Pro Temp Cerisi in regards to the deletion of messages. I just wanted to let you know those 2 were not in the public records request because they happened after, but I included them because I had them. I hope that, and those would be the images I would direct most attention to when it comes to regard to anything that I was concerned with for the most part. I have skimmed through them and tried to make sure there was anything else like that specifically, but I have yet to in-depth look over them myself. But if there's any other questions like for me specifically on why this, then yeah, I'll answer them.
All right, it's going to be Wanjin, Spalding, Tache, then Almanar. Wanjin, you have the floor.
I just want to speak specifically on the comment by Chair Hall about the quote unquote musical chairs by the Pro Temp's office. I understand the concerns there. I don't think it's a secret to the Senate body that Chair Gell and I have had a tense relationship. I think the full Pro Temp's office agreed that it was not appropriate for me to be there for the no confidence. Unfortunately, Senator Foster did have a meeting that was happening beforehand, which you can kind of see in the public records request. We're speaking within our group chat specifically about, hey, I don't want to be in here. Can you please get here before the no confidence happens so that you are actually present and I do not have to be the one to vote on this, because I did not think it was appropriate for me to leave halfway through the no confidence and switch out with Senator Foster, but I also did not want to be present.
Senator Spalding?
Yeah, just, okay, thank you, Vice Chair McClellan, for answering my question. I guess I would say the biggest concern I had was the repetitive statement of they're gonna come at me hard or retaliation, which is thoroughly concerning because that's not what this body is about. And I guess I just, in my opinion, this session has kind of been drama filled a little bit. So I just want to prevent anything like this from ever happening. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like they're going to be retaliated against for having an opinion, for using their voice. How can we go forward and make sure? I know that Chair Hall and Chair Gell said something about an investigation. Okay, if that's what needs to happen, that's what needs to happen. But what we need to think about is how can we move forward for the next 2 semesters without senators feeling attacked, without them feeling like they're going to be retaliated against, and without the drama to be surrounded by this body, because it takes away from what we could be doing and what we could be doing better.
Tache?
Is that time elapsing or may I speak?
No, we're good. We still have 10 minutes left.
Okay. So I'm going to share an opinion that hasn't been shared yet, but I'm sure is echoed by a lot of the senators, which is that I don't care about this. I'm already seeing head nods. I think we're being ridiculous. Like, I haven't read the messages yet, but we're in a position where we're 3 months into our session or whatever it is. And out of the 5 people who were qualified enough to run for leadership, 4 of them are already gone. Like, what are we doing? You're eating each other for no reason. You're fighting, you're bickering, you're trying to solve corruption like it matters or like it's going to fix anything. We're now going to do an investigation into something that was done between a couple senators who are already gone. Like, who cares? A lot of us don't care. And I'm sick of just like sitting here pretending like I am everyone does care because the only people who are speaking are the ones who do care. I think there's so many better uses of our time. And this is far and away one of the least important things we could possibly be doing. And I wasn't just going to like let it happen again without saying anything about it, about how most of us don't actually care. It's just like the same 10 people who are always talking about it. I imagine these next few people are going to agree with me, considering they haven't spoken on this before.
Well, I haven't called the next three people, so it's gonna go Almanar and Holmes, then you're ready to start.
Yeah, so first of all, if anybody's read them yet, and Daisy mentioned, I'm the senator that former pro temp asked to vote a certain favor. To speak shortly about the issue, that kind of made me feel uncomfortable, and I didn't know what to do about the situation. And then we got public records requested, and I submitted it. Then shortly after I submitted the information, I was messaged by Samantha Cerisi to delete the messages. And then she again messaged me regarding the messages, can you delete them? Then the other message, and then this one. And then separately asked me at 2 a.m. if I had time to meet. And then later that day, after that ENA meeting, following the next following week, sent me 3 messages in succession and then deleted all 3 of them. I've done my best to try to stay out of it and keep the drama out, but unfortunately the drama has happened to me and I'm not kind of happy about it, but it is what it is. Trying to collect my thoughts here, but yeah, I submitted those 2 that weren't part of the ENA request to Ryan after he said that he was doing that he announced that he was the one that did the public records request, because I thought that what was sent to me was wholly unethical. And I know, just a response to Senator Taché or Chair Taché now, that lots of people don't care about it, and I understand, but like it's kind of like major ethical violations, borderline sunshine law violations, and that in some cases of drama being drama, we should just kind of not ignore it, but talk about it as humans. In this case, this is essentially a sunshine law violation with deleting messages between 2 elected officials. So like, not to like I don't want people to be downplaying this specific situation. Also, I abstained from the vote, just letting y'all know, because I was chairing the meeting. But I also didn't agree with the vote of no confidence and the information presented. And the information presented wholly rested upon me for the argument that was being made due to questions that I answered to former Chair Cox about ENA. But after that, there's nothing much for me to say. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Chair Holmes?
Sorry to speak again. I'm going to keep it quick because I would like other people to be able to speak. But I also wanted to, echo those sentiments, but I'm going to tell you all what I told former Chair Cox, who issued the no confidence, that what we were discussing could have been talked to in private or through some type of medium with Chair Gell, and that a lot of these issues, like answering what Senator Spalding said, how can we move past this and not even get back to it again? It's just having those conversations. If you need to have a third party there to have these conversations, I would highly recommend it, because it's all could have been avoided if a conversation was had, if a medium was had. And I just wanted to say, like, this kind of messes with the legitimacy of our body, especially to the new senators that are currently here sitting and they have to hear this. That's a little disheartening as well. So what I would say is just, building bonds and just talking things out, or even just coming to a consensus. Like, if you don't like someone, you don't have to go through that specific route of like no confidencing someone, or, you know what I'm saying? So that was just, my last take on it.
All right, you're right.
I've already said kind of similar things to what Sierra just said, but I don't want to like invalidate anything, but I do want to say, let's ground ourselves a little bit. Like, this is not Congress. Okay. We are UCF student government. Okay. So there should be no reason as to why people think that they're going to be like threatened or have like retaliation and stuff like that. And I also noticed in person that there's a lot of use of like group me's and stuff like that, talking about other people like negatively, which I think when we come back in person and even now should just like altogether just stop, because that's just not creating a good work environment, regardless if it's ethically, morally, or whatever, if it's right or wrong. But yeah, that's it.
Right, I'm going to take some hands from those we haven't really heard from in any capacity tonight. So we'll start with Costas, go to Caldwell, and then Mole.
Yeah, while I understand that this is a serious issue, going from the 53rd session to the 54th has been a downgrade. This session, I feel like we've spent so much time fighting between ourselves, trying to like turn the Senate meetings that we have once a week into like grievances between other senators that could be handled either privately or in a separate time frame. Because I'm sure, as all of you are seeing when you turn on the news, like the world is literally falling apart, and I don't see enough people in this body using their power as a student body senator. I know we're just students, like Cherry Reyes said, but you represent 1,000 people, and you also can have connections in Senate. And instead of seeing people try and make the world a better place, I've just seen people try and take others down with elaborately written speeches and presentations about how other people are doing bad that look like they could have taken like weeks to write, while that time could have been used to help marginalized communities that are suffering across Orlando, such as our homeless students and such as our minority racial students and students with disabilities. So I would much rather see our time be used towards things like that in the future, because people need help. And I think this infighting has gotten us nowhere. And that's why so many people have left, is because we haven't done anything substantial. And it's just disappointing. And I hope we can do some good things in the future.
Senator Caldwell.
Yeah, I'll keep this short because I think a lot of what I'm going to say here has been communicated already. But I'd just like to ask most of the senators here, why did you join Senate? Remind yourself of that. We're here to make some sort of change. I joined to cast a vote for things that I thought would benefit our community. If we're spending our time pursuing things like these, we're not spending our time doing things that matter. Overwhelmingly, this isn't going to impact the student body of UCF or our greater community. It might matter. And if it's a crime, that's something that can be dealt with by agents who actually have the power to deal with it. I just urge all of you to consider what you're doing here and why before we go into these meetings and waste more time.
Senator Mole, 30 seconds.
Yeah, just want to basically directly respond to what Senator Caldwell said. I joined to advocate for the student body. That's why I'm an SBA. That's why I've written the legislation that I have. And I think it's a shame that we've had more no confidence votes and more censures this session than we have resolutions. We're only on resolution number 5, and we're how many weeks into this session? I think we really need to get our priorities straight.
The allotted time for Senate deliberations has elapsed. Advisors report, Gertie.
All right. Okay, I don't have much for you. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to touch on the pay stuff in just a minute, mostly just to say, actually, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to say, if you're a paid employee, don't forget to submit your time after Senate is done. And you have to tell me that you did it. Otherwise, you'll be in big trouble. I don't know. Okay, I did want to address Tyler's question. It turns out, and I was wrong about this as well, a point of information is not actually an opportunity to give information, which is definitely what I thought it was. A point of information is a request directed to the chair or through the chair to another officer member for information relevant to the business. So it is in fact a question, a request for information. And as far as I can tell, there is no moment to just give information. There's a point of order that's specifically about a procedural issue that you want to point out, like, hey, we can't do that, right? So like confirmations, if somebody else makes the motion and the chair doesn't realize it, a point of order, it has to be the ENA chair or vice chair that makes that motion, right? That's a point of order. So yeah, now we all know more than we did before. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Emma?
And continuing off of that, The reason I said, regardless of whether it was a point of information, was that I needed to call on you was pursuant to Senate Rule 4, where student body senators shall raise their hands to, if they wish to speak or deliver a matter to the student body senate and wait to be recognized by the chair. So obviously certain points of order or point of privilege would be different, but
Yeah. So yes, any other thoughts about that?
I just have a question for either of you want to answer. So when it comes to confirmations and questions being repeated, moving forward, if it's like a question that's repeated, do you want me to just say point of it? Like, do you want me to do that still?
So typically I catch them. There were some tonight that were on the fringe of being similar, but they weren't exact. So that's why I let them happen. But I have the minutes pulled up every time we're going through confirmations and I have the questions in front of me.
Should we continue to use point of information or should we find a new way to do that?
I think based on my new information and my understanding that I think the intention is that any information is debate. So using your moments for debate for that, I think is the appropriate thing. To be clear, I can definitely be wrong. There's a lot in this freaking book. So if we feel free to research and challenge that assertion and, we can go 10 rounds if you want. I'm happy to do that. No, but that is my current understanding of what is appropriate, if that makes sense. Good. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Jax has things to say before we do senator shout outs.
Yes, I do. Yeah, mostly just to talk with the students. So Workday has come in. Workday has changed everything with potential onboarding. If you thought I was a mess before, here we go. I have no idea how to hire anymore. I don't even know if that's going to be part of my job anymore. So as we all start looking at leadership positions, I have brought this up repeatedly with UCF administrators, but you should get paid for your labor. SG is in a very unique, and Senate specifically is in a very unique spot where when you all get elected, you start working immediately. And I don't know who it is beforehand, so I can't get anything prepped. And it's not like my front desk where I can tell them, okay, you're going to work in a month and then that works. So, keep that not to accept it necessarily, but just to keep aware of that and to talk about, because this is definitely going to be a big change for you all. Yes, my friend, I don't know if you all have to. Yeah, it's our time. You can, yeah.
I just wanted to say that I have experience with Workday. So if it's allowed or like a particular question, if I'm allowed to, I can maybe help you guys with that.
Well, no. So I'm more talking about they're restructuring everything. So this is I'm pro staff. This is way above all of this. I'm more just bringing it up because one, I do personally believe that this limits the access to certain students who kind of need to get paid. So therefore we are not seeing those students come in and participate in places like student government. And to acknowledge that as you have open positions or anything, to be aware that there is possibly going to be a delay and possibly a sizable one because of the nature of how y'all do your roles. It's unlike any other student position on campus, and now I officially might have nothing to do with it. So there's not even a way that I can help mitigate that. So mostly I just want to set some expectations because that's kind of what I hope to do, of that, this is not me withholding information or not doing something on purpose. It's just that I literally have no idea what this is going to look like moving forward. And I want you all to be prepared for that, because as positions come open, if you need to pay rent, that is unfortunately going to be part of your decision-making with this. Also loving to see the advocacy. If you know me, if you spent some time with me, you will hear me talk about mental health quite frequently. There is a community walk with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention that is happening in February. I will be participating in that. I participate frequently. I lost someone in 2020 who struggled with mental health, and he passed away due to suicide. He was a Black man. It definitely impacted his mental health. So this is a very important topic for me. So if you're interested in getting QPR trained, I can help you figure out what the process is with CAPS, other things. I'm definitely really big about that. So yeah, if there's any other things that you're interested, like with the caucuses, Marcus is delightfully my mentee. So again, I can help and assist in any way that I can. That's why I work at a university, is to help support you all and help you grow in your positions in leadership. But that, I think, is it. If anybody has any questions. Oh, and the door, like that is going to be a student union thing. But for those of you who also have been trying to like get your cards to work for our office, who knows if we can make it work? So we'll work on it.
Like so many things, we're trying, I promise. Yeah, because Jack said things, so by definition, I have to follow up. They can't have the last word. Something Jackson and I have been talking about recently is with the shift to Workday, there is the potential that you all will have less access to the process, right? And there's a potential that it will make it easier for the university and administrators in the university to see you more as a number and less as a person. And that's something that at the very least, the two of us want to help prevent. So if you are having a moment where because of the new system or not because of the new system, you are feeling like you are just kind of being pushed around or you are just a number in the system, let us know. We'll see what we can do to advocate. As I say, we don't have the access that we may have had before, but we will still do everything we can to help the university treat you like a human, because you are. So on that wonderful note, are there any senator shout outs? Holmes.
Chair Temple, because I asked about individuals sponsoring my Black business legislation, and instead of just sponsoring, he helped write put some amendments in there, and I just really appreciate him for going all out and helping our caucus out, especially with how fast August is coming. It may not be coming quick to y'all, but to Black Caucus, it is coming quickly. So thank you, Chair Temple, so much. And I always have to shout out Black Caucus because who am I if I didn't? So that's it.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, I have a couple. I'll rapid fire. First to Chair Urea, because last week I forgot to call on her for our icebreaker. And this time I called on her first and she said her favorite movie was Forrest Gump. The next one I want to shout out is Chair Taché. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be at the last Disability Caucus meeting, but I can't think of anyone better to chair that committee, especially because it's something that I do have a lot of passion for as an issue. And I'm really happy to see Chair Taché take that leadership role. I also just want to shout out GAP as a whole and specifically Vice Chair Temple. We did a lot of conversation about the legislative reports, loved the energy, and I'm excited to see what happens there. And last to Chair Holmes and the Black Caucus specifically, it sounds like they have a busy agenda next week, but it shows a willingness to engage both with the committees and the caucuses with their respective initiatives.
All right, Sarah.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to Chair Salcedo and the rest of the Hispanic Latinx Caucus for everything that we're doing right now. We've got a lot of things planned out for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we each separated ourselves to conduct our own tasks. So I'm excited to see what you guys, I'm excited for you guys to see what we got planned.
Awesome. All right. Selena.
I want to shout out Vice Chair Almanar. Before introducing this legislation, he's been working on this so incredibly thoroughly. You can see by the amount of sponsors that are on the legislation. He's communicated there is intent, there is advocacy, and I'm just really proud of him as a senator and as a person for doing all the work behind this proclamation. It is an incredible effort and will impact a lot of students. So thank you.
So we'll throw them right back at you, Chair Salerno. I want to thank everyone who has helped me up to this point with the resolution. It's the first thing I've done here as a senator, and I didn't know what I was doing at first. I pumped the first draft in like 20 minutes and then fell asleep the day of the Uvalde shooting. This was kind of good for my mental health to work on something productive in this issue. I want to personally thank Chair Salerno, Chair Salcedo, Chair Temple, and Chair McKellen for all giving me, or Vice Chair McKellen, sorry, giving me feedback and working closely with me. Also Sierra Turner for working with me on getting the poll out there for the student body. We got 347 responses in a week, which is really good, I think. And next week I'll have a PowerPoint presentation for y'all to look at with the results from that poll. But thank you everyone who helped me with that.
All right, Patel.
I'd like to shout out Chair Tache for becoming a new caucus chair and also getting a new ex officio seat filled, because that's much harder than it seems. Also, shout out to Chair Salerno for making a brownie that I actually approved of. And side note, I also wrote an assessment if you want to read it.
All right, we'll finally get to you, Zoom folks. So Temple.
Alrighty, so I'm actually going to throw out a few myself. First and foremost, to GAP for the amount of energy that they had in that meeting, and plus it's obligatory for me at this point. Shout out to the new senators and student government agents. Welcome aboard. We cannot wait to work with you all. Of course, he's been tossed around a lot. Senator Tache, congratulations on becoming the new Disability Caucus Chair. It's a shame that former Chair Cox is no longer with us, but I can't think of anybody better to replace them. Shout out to McClellan for that amazing national anthem rendition. Always top tier. Hope you keep doing it, man. To Vice Chair Almanar, not only for the gun reform legislation, which he put his heart and soul into, but also for the reference that I brought up in my ORS report. So for those who don't know, that Hello There, General Kenobi exchange was from Star Wars Episode 3. The Revenge of the Sith, and that was between General Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor, and the cyborg separatist General Grievous, or Major Malevolent if you've ever played Battlefront 2. And then finally, of course, my ORS Vice Chair Robbins. I could not have thought of anybody better to be by my side in ORS. Like the amount of effort, the amount of time and energy that she's put into like improving ORS and helping me in everything, just fantastic. I could not have thought of anybody better. Best vice chair overall. And that's coming from me, a vice chair myself.
All right, well, there's 5 hands on Zoom and Ethan gave at least 5. So I think that just is gonna take care of all of you. No, Poirier.
Yeah, I want to shout out, wait, can you guys hear me good? Okay, cool, because my screen split. Perfect. All right. So I want to shout out Chair Borges because like he really helped me with the bill, even though like I kept making mistakes on it and I introduced it. I said a whole bunch of information and like he corrected me and stuff. But yeah, thank you because this is my first time doing it and he just, I love you. So thank you so much, really. So shout out to you.
All right, Spalding.
Yeah, just a couple repeats, obviously, to the new senators. Welcome. Glad to have you. To Chair Tache for making chair. And then also a new one to Chair Salerno and to Vice Chair Anderson, who run SBA, because it's because of them that like I even wanted to join SBA. And they're just hardworking and dedicated, and they're just doing their thing. So shout out to them.
Yalama Chili.
As Chair Temple said, I'm going to need to shout out the new senators, Senator Samuel, Senator Parmar, and Senator Uchilla, as well as shout out everyone in GAP because GAP does amazing work as usual. Also shout out Chair Urea for a good GAP meeting yesterday, and shout out to Senator Costas for his extremely wise words in Senate Forum today.
All right, Sabila.
Okay, I would like to shout out, everyone running for pro temp. Excited to see what speeches and PowerPoints and all that jazz y'all grind out for next week. And shout out to Speaker Custis, because I know it's going to be difficult without the pro temp's office for the next week. Also shout out Chair Tache for getting elected to Disability Caucus Chair. Very happy for that. Sorry, I have a lot. And also shout out Senator Spalding. She messaged me during the meeting because she asked me if I was okay, and said I looked down, but I was actually like physically looking down at my lap. So I just really appreciated that. I thought that was very sweet.
All right, Ethan, we're gonna have to come back to you because it's gonna be another 12 shout outs. Paul.
Yeah, so one other shout out that I do want to make is to former Pro Temp Cerisi. Unfortunately, the situation was very unfortunate, but she did make a lot of positive contributions, particularly in the founding of the Disability Caucus itself. And I think that among other things, deserves credit despite everything that's happened today. So I just wanted to make that clear, that the contribution, particularly again, the Disability Caucus, something that I said previously I'm passionate about, is very important. And I hope that we can continue the work that she started.
Salerno.
I was going to put this in last meeting's shout outs, but unfortunately I wasn't here. I wanted to shout out Chair Yalamanchili. We went to a Come Out with Pride event that was in the evening. It rained. It was very stressful, but he pulled through and he did an amazing job at providing the resources for everyone that came out. I was really, really glad to see some of our senators there. Shout out to Daisy for coming. And it was just a really, really amazing event. So thank you for putting extra efforts in Senate.
All right, Custis.
All right, I have tears coming out of my eyes, so bear with me. First, I wanted to shout out every newly confirmed senator. So Samuel, Parmar, Ochea, congratulations on being here. So I just want to preface this. I hate crying, especially like with the camera on my face. Can we like pan out the camera? Is that possible? I hate showing emotions, but it's okay to show emotions. And I want to preface this by saying, based on what has happened in the past few months with all of this drama that has been mentioned in Senate deliberations, like it's so hard to sit up here every week. That it's so stressful. Not only because I'm sitting here wondering if I'm failing all of you because it's still happening, or me wondering if I'm going to be next and wondering if I'm competent enough to do the job. And it also hurts me to know that stuff is going on and some of you are hurting as well. It's such a stressful position to be in. But with that, I wanted to say that I have 3 weeks left and I still appreciate each and every one of you so much. I'm really going to miss all of you. But I also, with that, wanted to really ask you all to really make sure that you are here to advocate on behalf of students and that we're here to do what we should be doing as senators. Please care for one another and just treat everybody with respect. I appreciate each and every single one of you, even those who don't turn their cameras on for Senate or don't read the legislation that we're voting on. But I'll still be here in the fall, even though I'm not going to be a student anymore, and I'll probably still come visit. But I just wanted to also shout out each and every one of you, even though sometimes y'all make this job so stressful.
Everyone send your love to Emma, but do not give her hugs because she hates this. Fine. Jax can do one shout out.
I was planning on going at the end, but now it's going to seem like I'm only doing it, but I was going to shout out Speaker Custis. I make it no secret about how much I adore working with students. That's why I chose this job instead of working at any other office as an administrative assistant. I could certainly be making more. You can find my salary posted on the website. And Speaker Custis, I swear I was going to be saying this later. I wanted to go last to give you all a chance, but whenever you were last speaker, I know that I was not yet integrated into Senate. But I still have always appreciated your poise, your grace, and the way that you carry yourself. I do not know what it is like to be a woman of color, but I think that you have always entered into the office, no matter what was happening, what was on fire, with great poise and with great strength. And I have mad respect for you. I am very proud of you. I'm very proud to see how you have grown. I am very proud of how you handle these things. This has been a very stressful time for many, many of you. And you have been at the helm. You have been the one that people have looked to for decisions, for authority, for validation. As much as I don't wish that burden on you, you have done amazing. And I couldn't think of many other people that could do what you do. I hope that everyone who is under your leadership and your guidance can understand that you are students first. You are representative of students second. I very much care about all of you, whether we agree on things or not. That's kind of not why I'm here. It's not why I do my job. If you need anything, that's literally why I'm here. I'm certified in various different mental health things. I have seen a lot of you do good work. And again, even if it's not stuff that we would technically agree on, the biggest thing I want to see you do is to communicate, to have dialogue, to work respectfully, to be confident in yourself and what you're talking about, and to understand that what you do does make an impact, maybe not for UCF, not necessarily for anything that you're going to see now, but in your future as you grow. But all of that, again, has to be done under the kind of guidance of a strong leader. And Speaker Custis, I have nothing but love and adoration for you, and I'm so proud of you.
All right, y'all and Chili.
I would echo the sentiments of the entire Senate, and once again, shouting out Speaker Custis for doing an amazing job. She has been the pinnacle of respect and decency and integrity and honor in an environment where such qualities are not always shown. And I deeply appreciate you for being a guiding light for all the senators in our student government. More so, I would also like to say that we may have you as speaker for 3 more weeks, but we will never forget you. And you will always be the eternal speaker in our hearts. Thank you, Speaker Custis.
All right, Boris.
I'm going to shout out Vice Chair Almanar, Chair Tashe, and Speaker Custis for giving me grace these past few days after what happened on Monday. I just wasn't doing so good, but they talked to me and she canceled our meeting today. Tashe helped me during Disability Caucus, and Vice Chair Almanar helped me out. So thank you guys.
Almanar?
So I've just remembered a shout out that I wanted to do, but I'll also add to the shout outs for our Speaker Custis. We all love you. And of recently, you've been a very helpful mentor for me in Senate, finding my way around, which I appreciate a lot. The shout out I wanted to do was shout out to all the SG members who have been active in the Central Florida community, whether that's showing up to protest, rallies, or just community events. I think it's really good that we not only show up to on-campus events, but we also show up to events in Central Florida. I really want UCF to be seen as like a really good institution, and I think it looks good whenever we all show up to big events. I was surprised to see, like an example, I saw former Disability Chair Cox and Senator Costas at a rally a few weeks ago, and I was pleasantly surprised to see them engaging in their responsibilities as citizens of Florida and this country. So I implore everybody here, find a cause or a movement you like, show up, be a part of the community. If you're not from Orlando, reach out to anyone you think who can get you connected with people in Orlando for whatever cause you think seems fit. That's it for me.
All right, go.
Yes, I want to shout out Vice Chair McClellan. Awesome job today, Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem, and I love your suit. I also want to shout out my Vice Chair. You're awesome, JC. Always remember that. I really appreciate you a lot. Chair Salerno as well, and the rest of SBA for caucusing today. I really appreciated that. The time you took, as well as the new senators, Samuel, Victor, and Jay. I'm so sorry. I'm really excited for you guys to be in here, and I hope you are really excited and really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be awesome. And shout out Speaker Custis. Everyone says only amazing things about you, including my parents, who are a big fan of you. So just know you do have the support of UCF behind you, but as well as I'm sure a lot of our parents. And shout out to Jax and Brody. You guys are phenomenal. You do make the world go round in this chamber. And I really appreciate you all. And I think it's really important for us to acknowledge our leadership. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge each other as people. So shout out to you all, even throughout the differences. I genuinely have nothing but respect for all of you.
Not to cut things off or rush things, but we got 6 minutes until we got to be out of here. So let's be
All right.
fast.
Leslie.
Okay, I'll make it fast. I wanted to shout out the 2 new senators that are on the agenda to be elected to FAO. Super excited for that.
Solid. All right. Ethan, I know you've got 6 more. Give us a couple.
Actually, I just have the, well, 3 technically, because to the people who are about to be appointed to ORS, welcome aboard. I'll be sure not to talk your head off about history or anything.
All right. And with that, that is the end of the advisor announcements.
Hello. No.
All right. Miscellaneous business, resignations. Chair Borges has resigned from ENA. Elections, CRT. Is there a motion to open up nominations for CRT? Senator Wondren, do you accept the nomination? Senator Palmer, do you accept the nomination? All right. Any other senators wishing to be nominated? Is there a motion to close nominations? Is there a motion to open up elections? All those in favor? All those against? All those abstaining? Congratulations, you're both on CRT. All right, ENA, is there a motion to open up ENA nominations? Senator Foster, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
All right, anyone else wishing to be on ENA? All right, is there a motion to close nominations? Is there a motion to open up ENA elections? All those in favor? All those against? All those abstaining? Congratulations, Senator Foster, you're on ENA. Is there a motion to open up nominations for FAO? Senator Samuel, do you accept the nomination? Well, he's not here, but he sent it to me. So, all right. Senator Palmer, do you accept the nomination? Is there a motion to close nominations? Is there a motion to open up FAO elections? All those in favor? All those against? All those abstaining? Congratulations to the both of you. You're on FAO. Appointments. I hereby appoint Senator Wondren, Chair Borges, and Senator Ochea to ORS. I hereby appoint Senator Ochea and Senator Samuel to SBA. Custis Tashika Couture. Okay. This is hard because during Senate exec, AJ Patel was wearing a different outfit and he asked me what Wimbledon was. And I'm not a tennis fanatic, but I know what it is. And he said, if I wear this outfit, will I get chic couture? So he went and changed into a very, tennis chic outfit. So I'll give him the honorary mention. In terms of best dressed, we'll do, goodness, okay. Hall, Almanar, Wondren. All right, anyone else for miscellaneous business? I'll take a motion. Oh, wait, sorry. Spalding, maybe their motions, I don't know. Spalding?
Yeah, I was going to move to adjourn pending final roll call.
All right, there's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on final roll call.
Mole,
Here.
Odier,
Here.
Kira,
Here.
McClellan,
Present.
Millington,
Here.
Richard,
Present.
Temple,
Present.
Caldwell,
Present.
Robbins,
Present.
Spalding, Castillo,
I'm here. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I'm here.
Present.
Win,
Here.
Simcoe,
Here.
Wanjin,
Here.
Domino,
Here.
Foster,
Present.
Galloway, Custis,
Present.
Beaumont,
Here.
Becerra,
Present.
Gell,
Here.
Demarla,
Here.
Patel,
Here.
Yalamanchili,
Here.
Burrell, Borges,
Here.
Almanar,
Present.
Anderson,
Present.
Castellan,
Here.
Zabula,
Present.
Hall,
Here.
Holmes,
Present.
Huerta,
Present.
Costas,
Here.
Martin,
Present.
Salerno,
Present.
Salcedo,
Present.
Tache.
Here.
All right, 37 out of 40 quorum is verified.
All right, hereby adjourn this meeting at 9:29 PM. See you all next week.
All the new senators.